Lakers Gafote. Is it you?
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GO to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
ESPN 710, Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Thursday afternoon. Mason pulled a Mason and called in sick on the day of the show. Here we go. Hopefully you're having a beautiful Thursday. Let's get it, yo. Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon right now.
Yeah! This is where we yell, right?
Good afternoon.
This is the yelling part. It's your boy, the Big CY. Marcus is here as well. Just to lay things out for everybody to understand. Got up first thing this morning at 4:30.
Okay.
Same time I do every day these days. Got into the studio. Banged out Clinton and Friends. Had a great show. After that, took a little food break. Walked up to Target. Had to buy some new headphones.
Okay.
Came back. Did Around the Horn. Second ding. Maybe not. Did the show.
There it
This
is.
is now the third program of the day in which I will be running my mouth.
Are they going to let you go home after this?
Perhaps.
Sedano and Cap actually needs somebody.
I know. I actually have to go to the barber after this. So there's one more errand after today, but that is fine. The reason why I say all that is because we have a new promotion here. And I was handed a sheet of paper that said, oh, here's the new promotion. And I was like, this looks like homework to my brain right now. And I am not trying to downplay it, but we have brought in Bergie to break down the Gafote.
Yeah, so
what's going on?
The Gafote is a amazing thing that we're doing right now. So Gafote stands for greatest fan of all time.
All right.
And so Bibigo, which is the Korean dumpling brand, it's very, very good. I love Bibigo, and Ireland loves it too. But Bibigo, the Lakers, and ESPN Los Angeles are coming together to try to find, worldwide, by the way, the greatest fan of all time for the Lakers.
Wow.
So there's multiple ways to do these kind of things. First of all, number one, you need to follow at ESPN Los Angeles, and you need to follow it on Instagram, X, Facebook, or TikTok.
All right.
Then you need to upload your entry, a video of yourself, saying why you're the greatest fan of all time, the Gafote.
Lighting matters, kiddos. Don't forget that.
So for 10 to 15 seconds, tell us why you are. You're going to upload it to some of these different places, and you have to hashtag two different hashtags. Hashtag Lakers Gafote, GFOAT, and hashtag promotion. So as long as you do those two hashtags and follow at ESPN Los Angeles, you will be in the running for the Gafote.
This feels like an exercise in following directions.
A little bit.
I mean,
I just explaining what it is.
They know how to do things.
But you win some really cool prizes if you do this. So this is worldwide. We're talking UK, South Korea, Germany, Japan, UAE, Slovenia, Brazil.
Slovenia, yeah.
UAE, huh?
Yeah, the United Arab Emirates.
Like, all
Wow,
right.
Greg, I didn't know that I would think you had the UAE pull.
I just-
I
that
got
was
the
a-
UAE pull. So we're doing this from February 20th to March 12th. And so if you do win the Gafote, you win the grand prize of two tickets courtside at a Lakers game.
All right.
Which is very, very cool.
Yeah.
Round trip airfare for two-night hotel stay. You can come into the ESPN LA broadcast studios and meet Mason in Ireland and do a full tour.
All right.
There's a tour of the Lakers practice facility that's involved in that, and they don't let anybody in there to do that. There's a meet and greet with current or former Lakers players. That's TBD. There's there's also a 1-year supply of BBGO products, and you get Lakers merchandise. That's the grand prize.
Sure.
This is dope.
1 year supply of BBGO products is strong.
That sounds legit.
I could use a dumpling subscription right now.
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic.
They are delicious. And so the voting period, then after they go through it, there'll be a voting period from March 18th to March 24th. The top 4 entries will win the qualifying prizes and advance into the voting stage for the contest. Fans will then vote on to determine who the top 2 fans are, and it'll go from there.
Okay. All right. Have we set the table?
I think so.
Is everything set at the
That
table?
all makes sense. Does it all make
Yeah,
sense?
it makes
It
sense
all
to
makes
me.
sense.
That
Yep.
was just a lot of, you know it. So I figured you were the better man to present the information. Considering this is the show that you're on.
Solid
too.
exposition dump is what
Thank
that
you.
was.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
There you
Okay,
go.
so let's lay things out here. We're gonna talk about the Lakers right now, but quickly, I just want people to know we are watching the baseball game.
Yes, we are.
The baseball game is on. It is the first spring training game of the year for Los Dodgers, so I will have an eye on this as we go through the night. But, Marcus, I want to ask you straight up, what were you doing when you watched the game last night? What did you think of how things unfolded against the Hornets?
I watched the majority of it. I think I missed a little bit in the middle, but they looked like a team that hadn't played basketball in about a week. I mean, they just looked sloppy, ton of turnovers. I think they had 9 turnovers in the first quarter. Just a lot of missed shots. They just looked out of sync more than anything. One thing that I mentioned to Greg before the show, having watched Luka now a couple of times since he's come over to the Lakers, it feels like he is pressing to have that big moment.
I would agree.
He wants to have that big game, that big welcome to LA stamp. And I sense that he's pressing. Now I'm not worried about Luka. It's only been a couple of games. He missed 20 some odd games with an injury. So he's still sort of working himself back in, but I just sense he wants to make that special pass or hit that big 3. It hasn't happened yet. And I think that's sort of some of what we've seen the last couple of games where they're all sort of trying to give Luka space to become Luka, and it hasn't quite happened.
I agree, and I also feel that I don't want to say that the team overplayed this, but I do think that there's a different element to a mid-season trade that is the blockbuster of the league than it is to say a free agent signing or something that happens before the season.
Yeah.
Because there was still, when he arrived, I mean, starting back to when we first saw those IG clips of him on the chopper or whatever he was on private jet, where he was looking kind of dazed, where there was an element of, that clip where they wake the kid up in whatever, and they're like,
straight
oh,
or
what's
whatever it
going
is.
on? There was this tiny element of that. And I'm not saying that to diss Luka at all. What I'm saying is that he was legitimately uprooted.
Yeah.
And forget the basketball for a second. If you get uprooted from a place like Dallas, where you were the man, you were drafted there, and you one day thought your literal entire life was going to revolve around this location, and you get put into the middle of Laker Nation, it's going to take a minute to adjust. And it's not just going to be on the court. And so there's still a part of me that felt like even during his introductory presser, he was a little sheepish just because it was kind of like, yo, I still kind of can't believe I'm here. And like, what am I supposed to actually do? You know what I mean? Like, LeBron's still here. And so the basketball is one thing. But I do think there is an element of Luka's personality is going to take a while to kind of imprint on this team because the situation was so abrupt and it was so fast and it was so different, and I don't mind that, Greg. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind that at all.
No, I don't mind that he has that kind of thing going on, but I think Marcus is right. He is still looking for that moment, that what he is trying to show LA, like, hey, I'm here, I'm that guy. That's why he's taking so many deep threes, more step backs. But at the same time, like, he's still getting his legs underneath him. He's not at the point that we need him to be at yet.
Right.
But
what I'm saying is I don't think this is a Freddie Freeman situation. I don't think it's a boo-hooing for the old squad. I just think it's very legitimately on a human level like, yo, bruh, this is a lot. All right. It's going to take a second.
Well, the concept of sports trades is sort of a bizarre one, right? Because think about it in any other walk of life. Like, what if somebody just came to you, Greg, and said, hey, tomorrow we're shipping you to New York. You got to be on a plane, take a physical, and you're going to start work on, next Tuesday. Like, it's just a
at like
weird...
WFAN, I'll be like,
Right.
I don't know New York.
Exactly,
Right.
but like that's the thing is like it's such a bizarre thing, and as sports fans we've become accustomed to it, but it is just to your point. He went to the NBA Finals last year with the Mavericks. I think the intention was he was going to sign a Supermax deal. Mm-hmm. He was going to be a part of that franchise for the long term. He was going to be the centerpiece there. And now, you're right, he's ripped away from that. sent to a brand new city, a huge media market, and on top of it with, a huge overbearing personality and persona in LeBron James, in a franchise where even as great as you are, you're another guy in the lineage of Laker basketball. It's a lot to take in.
It's a totally different mindset, and I think that this is going to be a real test for Luka, and in a good way. This is what I thought when he came. I said, everybody needs to benefit for this to work. Does Luka probably need to have a little bit of a mindset change for his overall professional outlook? Maybe, if that's what you think. Do the Lakers probably need to get on their P's and Q's to make sure that a guy like this actually can get better, and this all doesn't just kind of go for naught in some way where you just never really improve, even though he's a top 5 player in the league? There is work to be done on both sides. So I'm not worried about Luka, is what I'm saying. I just think these are very real parameters, and I knew when he said, man, I'm looking forward to the break after game 1. I'm like, dude, you haven't played since Christmas. How are you looking forward to the break? Oh, it's probably as much of the off-court stuff as it is the on-court stuff, Greg.
See, you think that – so you're saying that you're not worried about Luka, and I agree. He'll be fine. He's going to be just how he is. But does this – what about the Lakers? How do you feel about the Laker portion of it? Because Luka for this year is different than Luka for the next 10 years, right?
Sure.
In a Laker uniform. Do you think the Lakers can get to the point of what they – wanted to be this year?
I don't know, and I think that's a big question for the franchise. And the question becomes, and we can talk about this a little bit more on the other side in terms of what I think they need to do. There are multiple things that need to be, that you can check off the list. For me, like not just one, and it's not just, hey, look at the jerseys. Multiple things need to happen in order to guarantee that Luka being here after next season as a free agent is the right thing to do. That's just me. Multiple things. Anyway, we'll talk about it on the other side. It's Mason in Ireland. I don't even know what show I'm on right now. It's Mason in Ireland, Clinton Marcas, ESPN 710.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
I don't really understand why people get, like guys in particular, get arrested for peeing in public. I mean, everybody's dog walks around peeing everywhere. What's the difference?
Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Plan your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, official Native American resort and casino of the Los Angeles Lakers. See for yourself what made readers of Newsweek and USA Today name Pechanga the best casino outside of Las Vegas. Pechanga has world-class resort amenities, exceptional entertainment, dining, spa, and golf, and 24/7 gaming excitement. The immense casino floor and 1,100 rooms and suites makes Pechanga one of the largest in the country. Skip the traffic, head for Pechanga Resort Casino off the I-15 in Temecula. Visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for reservations.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. At Los Angeles International Airport, changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX Economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforming-LAX. That's flylax.com/transforming-LAX.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Trav with DeMarco.
Only one all-star defense team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Don't get sacked by others. Joseph will help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000.
Let Joseph and his team score a touchdown for you.
Are you in the hunt for an exciting new job in the world of professional sports and entertainment? Legends Hospitality is thrilled to announce our hiring fair this Saturday, February 22nd and Sunday, February 23rd from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at SoFi Stadium. We're looking for enthusiastic candidates for part-time positions in catering, concessions, merchandise, culinary, and more. Enjoy competitive wages and a flexible schedule. Whether you're seeking valuable experience or looking to boost your income, we have a role that's perfect for you. We'll be conducting on-the-spot interviews, so come ready to impress. To enter the stadium, please use Pinkay Avenue and Barris Drive and park in Lot E, where you can check in at VIP Entry 11. Don't forget to visit legends.net/careers to explore our current openings and apply now. That's legends.net/careers. Don't miss this incredible opportunity. Your future starts here.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
You're checking out the Waba Grill Lunch Hour here on Mason and Ireland.
Sup, people? Why do they grill the order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Their Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins and fresh steamed vegetables. Right now, get a value bowl combo for only $8.99 for a limited time. Waba Grill, it's for you.
Just like Mason and Ireland are for you.
Tell me if I'm weird here. Don't answer
Yes,
that question.
you're weird.
I knew that was coming.
The Waba Grill Lunch Hour rolls on right now.
By the way, ESPN LA, the Lakers, and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. Are you the GOAT? If so, you could win the ultimate fan package, including courtside seats and a year's supply of BBGO. If this is you, go to LakersGoat.com, LakersGFOAT.com to learn how to submit your entry.
Mason and Ireland, Clinton Yates and Marcus Grant here, filling in on a Thursday afternoon. Okay, so Greg, we were talking about Luka and what's going on with the growing pains, if you will, of the team and his relationship with the franchise. We've got some sound here from Brian Windhorst about what that future looks like right now.
He just stumbled on to where the actual pressure is. I understand they got pressure because they got to play Denver this weekend or whatever. The pressure is on the organization between now and August 2nd to get Luka to sign that extension. That's where the pressure is, because Luka doesn't have his incentive to sign in LA. He never said, I want to be a Laker. There's dozens of players over the years who make it crystal clear they want to be Lakers. Luka never said that. This hit him out of the blue. It cost him $100 million. He has got to see how they build this team around him and what they do in June and July for when August 2nd comes. The Lakers ain't winning a championship this year. Their big moment is whether or not Luka commits to the future so that they can properly try to do this again with a new face of the franchise.
People acted like that was crazy when I brought that up the first time as soon as he came, because everybody wants to say, oh, of course he wants to be a Laker. Oh, what are the chances he doesn't sign? I'm like, guys, this one's just a little different. And, Greg, I recognize that 9 times out of 10 in this situation, a guy's going to sign with the Lakers because it's
the Lakers.
Right, but first of all, that mentality is changing drastically in the NBA these days, as far as I'm concerned, ever since LeBron's been here. And secondly, this is just a little different. Luka was a big-time superstar, global one at that, before he ever got here. It's entirely possible that the way that he arrived affects his desire to stay as much as anything, as in he did not have a choice. Sure, he might want to test that free agent market. That would be reasonable to me. If it doesn't matter to him where he plays, again, he already got a team to the finals. I think this is real, Marcus.
Well, and I think Windhorst brings up a good point is at some point the Lakers have to show Luka what we can do for you.
Correct.
Right? It can't just be purple and gold, Hollywood, whatever, because you mentioned they were in the finals last year. The Lakers were not. and so what can you build for me? Because remember, he's 25 years old. He theoretically has a long basketball career still ahead of him. What can you do to make me feel comfortable here in Los Angeles, especially when you know LeBron's got a year, 2 years left? I mean, the clock is ticking on LeBron, not just in LA, but in the NBA period. So, sure, it's nice being here in LA with this historic franchise. What are you going to do to help set me up for success?
So this is where we get to my countdown list of what the franchise needs to do. I can't remember how many numbers this is, but I'm going to start at the reverse order of what the importance is. Let him do whatever he wants in terms of his guys' situation, his trainers, his nutritionist, or whatever. I understand that getting him back in shape is important, but they have to be his people. Dallas booted his folks, And then they immediately started seeing a decline in production in what they believed was seriousness. So obviously that matters for who he is. Yes, health is a priority. Yes, conditioning is a priority. But I feel that if you tell a guy like Luka, no, they're doing it, you're doing it our way, you could sow some seeds of dissent that you don't necessarily need to do for it to work. Number two, the LeBron situation has to be clarified a lot. Because otherwise, you're constantly playing yourself against each other, not even on the basketball court, but just mentally how you're locking into what are we actually doing here? Is LeBron just going to potentially walk away or retire? Which, again, would be his right. But if I'm Luka's camp, I need to know. That's important. The other thing, and I think this is as important as anything, is the J.J. Redick factor. What are you sure that he's the guy that you want to be with Luka, even though he wasn't Luka's sort of pick? He played with Luka. He obviously knows what he's doing with this current crop of Lakers. But if for whatever reason Luka don't like him, well, then you've got a decision on your hands, Greg. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple different factors at play here simply because of the fact that he was traded that you've got to take seriously for the organization.
I mean, I didn't even think about if he doesn't like J.J. Redick. I assume that that's going to be okay. It's an assumption.
Yeah.
Granted, it's an assumption. But I also assume that he's going to resign. I think that's the most obvious thing that's going to happen is that he will resign. It's possible, but for the most part, you really don't not sign in Los Angeles. Only Dwight Howard didn't do it for the most part. So I think that's all going to happen. But he does need.
Let me ask that differently. Has a star of this caliber ever come to the team under these circumstances? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you kind of add up the different circumstances, it's not the same. That's why I don't think we can go with conventional wisdom.
It's not going to be like a Shaq or a Kobe or a Magic or something. Or
Kobe
Kareem.
was traded here
Maybe
on
Kareem.
Draft day.
Maybe Kareem, but that was a different era of the game.
I feel like also Shaq always kind of wanted to be a Laker.
Sure.
You know, I mean, he wanted to be here for years.
Right. I just don't expect Luka to, now that he's in Los Angeles, now that he's the face of the franchise, because he is now going to be the face of the Los Angeles Lakers for the next 10 to 15 years.
Sure.
If his body holds up.
If he resigns. That's the thing.
So he's most likely Occam's razor, right? You know that whole thing?
Yeah.
He is going to sign. That's the most likely scenario.
I will also say, for the Lakers to have made this move, right? To move Anthony Davis, to give up Max Christie, maybe this is naive, but you have to believe there is a bigger picture in mind. That you don't make a move like this for Luka without having some sort of plan to re-sign him, to keep him here. Because you've given up a lot of assets. You've given up a lot of what has built this team and made this team what it is. You don't do that and then just hope, hey, we're going to take you to Venice Beach and get you a Pink's hot dog and hope that's going to be good enough to keep you in Los Angeles.
We're not going to knock Venice Beach. All right?
I love it. It's the people's beach. I love it.
I'm just saying.
It's the people's beach.
The thing is, though, is that, like, I don't know that they got some big plan. The last time they had a big plan, they won the championship and then took everybody off the daggone team. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee.
There was reasons for all of those things.
Again, but the reasons didn't necessarily work out. Like,
they were stupid reasons, but they were reasons.
That's what I mean. There's no guarantee that this is going to fall in order when, the next trade you tried to make didn't even work. And I'm not trying
But they tried to bring in a big man.
Yes, it was the smart decision, but it didn't work. And whether or not you want to say that that's their fault or not, it was still a mistake as it did not happen. And so, yes, you're right. But this is where you've got to prove as a front office that you know what you're doing and not just settling for, good reasons we tried. They didn't want it. It's like, bro, you've legitimately got something to lose here. And the reason why I like this, were I to be a Lakers fan, is that this shows you got to prove something here as a franchise. And if you are that good and you do have that much expertise and that much draw, well, this should be a non-issue. You know what I'm saying? If you're that confident in yourselves, well, then just execute what it is that you do. And you get to see the product, and it's going to be better. But that is a legitimate question. I think if you're a Laker fan, looking at what's the team going to do because you've never been in this position.
So there's been a question for a long time. Is Rob Pelinka actually a good GM?
Right.
President of basketball operations, whatever you want to call it.
Sure, whatever the title is.
Whatever the title is. There's always been that question because was it LeBron and Clutch that was doing everything, or was it Rob Pelinka? This is now Rob Pelinka's team.
Correct.
By bringing in Luka, you are now showing the entire league and all of Los Angeles whether or not you can do this, whether you are a good GM that can bring in pieces to help and move forward for the rest of Luka's career here and even this year.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying, Greg. There's no longer anywhere, Marcus, where you can triangulate out, oh, the coach is bad. Oh, LeBron's running things. Oh, there was whatever that went on. No.
This is you now.
This is y'all.
This is you. Yeah, as a Laker fan, though, Greg, what is your level of confidence that Rob Pelinka is a good general manager?
See, every move that Rob Pelinka has made that was not a LeBron or clutch move has been a pretty decent move. Like, it always has turned out pretty well. This, I feel like, whether or not Nico Harrison just dropped it on his lap, it's still a Rob Pelinka move.
Yeah.
When Rob Pelinka built the team to get Anthony Davis, then bring in Danny Green, bring in JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, that, to me, is also Rob Pelinka moves. The ones that are non-moves are the Russell Westbrook move that destroyed everything.
Yeah.
And then they've been trying ever since. He also made the move, I believe, to bring in, like, the Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and D'Angelo Russell.
Sure.
That actually got them to the conference finals.
Yeah, no, you're
Those
right.
were his moves that got them there, and then they just continued to blow it up because LeBron wants something
That's
else.
where this all comes together. You got to sort these problems out. Order of operations is important. Sidebar, saw Danny Green today over on the TV side. He gave me a nice nugget that I used on television. It's fantastic.
Very cool.
Danny Green's a nice dude. Very nice guy. Probably should have never gotten rid of him, but that's that. Anyway. What do you got? Wheel of questions on the other side, Greg?
Yes, sir.
Wheel of questions on the other side. But first, ESPN LA, the Lakers, and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers. How do you say this again?
Gafote.
Gafote! The greatest fan of all time. Enter by telling us your favorite Lakers memory and posting to social media. You must follow ESPN Los Angeles, and you must hashtag Lakers Gafote and hashtag promotion. I know that was a lot. All of these directions are on LakersGafote.com. That's LakersGafote.com. Mason and Ireland on ESPN Los Angeles.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
This morning at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
Luka has a chance to be the number one guy in the world, or at least in America. To be the guy for the Los Angeles Lakers?
Big job.
What's bigger than that?
Not much.
And winning championships.
Not much.
Who's more famous than him?
NFL players, but that's about it.
You still think the quarterback?
In this country. Internationally, probably not.
If Luka is winning championships and the Lakers are back to their dominant, excellent self, like I'm talking back to the old school days when they're running off 10 in a row ugly stuff.
Yep.
And Luka is at the forefront.
Yep.
Am I getting too far to say Luka could actually challenge that?
I think he would be on the short list.
That guy,
sure.
that talent, the way he plays here.
I don't think it's a Luka thing. I think it's an NBA versus NFL thing. That's the only reason that I would make that argument. But I think it's close.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
Hey, everybody, it's John Ireland. We all like to discuss and debate who we think is the GOAT, right? But the real question is, who is the Gafote? That's right, the Gafote. ESPN LA and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers Gafote, the greatest fan of all time. Just upload your pic or video to Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok and tell us your favorite Lakers memory. You must follow at ESPN Los Angeles and be sure to include 2 hashtags. Hashtag Lakers Gafote and hashtag promotion. And you can win some serious prizes like courtside seats, Lakers gear, a year's supply of my favorite, BBGO. BBGO's mouth-watering Korean snacks and meals are ready in minutes. My favorite is the juicy and flavorful steamed dumplings with the sticky white rice. So easy and so good. We're looking for the Lakers Gafote. Is it you?
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland here each weekday. You know what it's time for? What is this?
It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
Nice. So it's
straight to you here. Is this how this works?
Well, unless anybody else has a wheel question, I got one for you guys.
No,
Even better.
I got no question. I got no question.
Me and my buddies last year found that one of our favorite bets to make was spring training first inning parlays of runs scored or less, first or less. So, we got a couple going today. Game one's already hit. But you tell this to a bunch of people, talked to a couple people today, they think that's a problem. Is betting on spring training, is that a problem to you?
I would say if you're keeping it light and just fun, like you sound like this is like a thing between friends. Like that seems okay. That's just a way to sort of, keep in touch, stay with your buddies, have a good time, whatever. Now, if we're talking about, if you're putting Drake-size wagers on, how many strikeouts Yoshinobu Yamamoto's going to have, then I'm going to tell you to call the phone number. Right. You got to call the number at that point.
I think this depends on where in your diet of gambling it lies. If this is like the only time you do it, and you do it when you're, say, at spring training, then it's a different energy than if it's like the last thing you're doing in the day and you got to scratch that action because you need something on spring training to watch it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's actually a pretty good kind of low stakes, nobody cares parlay prop bet situation, to be quite honest. So when you first brought it up, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of fun. I don't gamble, but there are certain aspects of the gambling world, Prospects does this well, where I would consider like, all right, I'll do that.
Put a buck or
you know
two
what
on
I'm
that.
saying? I'll throw a couple shekels at that. But if you're like, oh, man, I got popped on Champions League earlier this morning. I got to get it back on first inning spring training wagers.
You got a problem.
You got an issue, dog.
I will say, though, last year when we, kind of stumbled upon this, that you could even bet on this.
Right.
The unders on first inning was a lock for like 2 or 3 weeks. It was hitting almost every single day. The best run I've had on these apps is first inning spring training unders.
Well, usually hitters are behind pitchers, so that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because guys have been ramping up and they take a while.
But speaking of which, the Dodgers did put up a 3 spot in the second.
Somebody went out. I didn't see who it
Eddie
was.
Rosario.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Eddie Rosario. I asked you. I thought it was Ahmed Rosario.
Like
Ahmed Rosario's back on the Dodgers, or is that what's happening? I forgot that Eddie Rosario signed
Eddie Rosario.
Oh, Bobby Miller's on the mound. Okay.
Going from Yamamoto to Bobby Miller.
Do we know anything about what the plan was, or is for that matter, for the first couple games with the arms? The arm barn?
I think it's, I think everybody gets like an inning or two. I saw that, Miller's expected to pitch. I think Justin Robleski may get an inning or so in here. But there was a list of guys that were expected to throw a little bit today.
Yamamoto 1 2/3. So
okay.
27 pitches, 20 strikes, allowed 3 hits, no runs, and struck out 2.
Do we have a first pitch strike percentage there? Which is my most important.
I feel like Dodger Insider.
Dodger Insider does not have that. Okay, it's the most important stat of all time for me at all times regarding exhibition starts. Personally, where are your thoughts on what the Dodgers are looking like in terms of spring training, and what's your biggest? I know you guys host Blue Review, obviously.
Yep.
Where is your mind at right now regarding Los Doyers?
Just keep everybody healthy. I mean, I think that's job one, which when it comes to pitching has been a tall order the last few years. I mean, obviously they were able to cobble it together and make it work between the starting rotation and the bullpen last year, but they've got legitimately 6 guys that they can put in a starting rotation. The lineup is as deep as any lineup I think I've ever seen in my lifetime from top to bottom. It is just about keeping everybody upright and healthy and productive from now until October. I think that's really it with this group.
I think that's a big part of it. I was saying earlier today on Clinton and Friends that this is also a different vibe in spring training. Championship spring training is a totally different situation. When it's like, oh, you guys see the rings? Oh, you guys don't have questions about whether or not anybody can do this? Do you? Yeah. You can come out and say, oh, guess what? We got some studs. That being said, for me, the number one story is obvious, and it's what's going on with Shohei. Because when I read in the LA Times the other day that Mark Pryor said, it's unique, and we're going to wing it. I was like, okay. I mean, I get it. There's no real way to lay out the plan because nobody's ever done this before. But, Greg, at the same time, that makes me a little nervy because you don't know what decisions you're going to have to make down the line. Let's just say it's mid-July. half your pitchers are out the same way they were last year. Shohei's maybe iffy to get a start. Like, what are you really going to risk just for the sake of him wanting to do it? I know that's a down-the-line question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do wonder how this brass and front office is going to sort of handle this on a week-to-week, start-to-start, or whatever it may be basis.
I think what they're going to do with Shohei is basically what Shohei wants. If he's also is kind of like iffy in those kind of things, they'll be like, hey, why don't you take a week off? Why don't you take 2 weeks off? Because it doesn't matter. The regular season, they're going to run into 100 games. They're going to probably win the NOS. I would bet a lot of money on it. So they just need to get to the postseason. So all these guys, and they have such depth that Marcos is even talking about it. You have like 6 to 10 guys that can fill in for him.
Sure.
So you have enough guys to fill it. Just let Shohei be Shohei. If he needs a little bit of time off, give him it. I don't care what he does in the regular season. Honestly. I don't need 50-50.
Right, but you're
with a Cy Young caliber.
You're underselling the possibility that he might legitimately be like, I'm starting every 5th day. And then you're like, okay.
6.
Or 6, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't, if it's not working or something goes wrong as a result of him pushing it, then you're in a tough spot. It's not just a shoulder injury. By the by, which he got running the bases, not even pitching in the World Series. Like, and he's had 2 TJs. Like, I would have such kid gloves on this situation that I would almost have to tell Shohei, we're doing this.
Bobby
our
Miller
way.
just got smacked in the face with the line drive. Oh,
this is what I'm talking about.
That's scary.
Tough.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Hitting the head. Bobby Miller is rubbing his
Right
head.
at the middle.
His hat came off. He
standing back up, but that was scary.
He went down front first on that.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of the way of the ball. Rogers is out talking to him. The umpire's out there as well. He's rubbing the top of his head.
It doesn't look like a mark, at least not yet. It may swell up and bruise. But
Yeah,
for now,
but you can tell by how much he's touching it where the pain is coming from.
Yeah.
That's difficult.
Oof. Yeah, there's a big red mark right where it got him on the
that's
forehead.
Going to leave a mark. It did leave
terrifying.
That's scary.
Terrifying.
This is a whole other discussion in terms of, exit velos back up the gut. But here's what I'm saying, Greg, separately, is if they run into a situation where they're like, Shohei, we don't think you should be throwing right now. And he's like, I'm throwing. I hate that. I hope it doesn't get to that. But on the flip side, here's what I would do, and I love this idea, is like, okay, you've got a 6-man rotation. Okay, Shohei's like, I'll throw whenever you guys want me to throw. I would have surprise Shohei starts, straight up.
Just surprise.
Like, bam! Guess what? Once a month, every other month, you're like every 6 weeks or so, it's like, guess what? You're facing Shohei tonight.
So
deal with it.
I think they can get buy-in from Shohei because this team is so deep and so good. I feel like if this was still Anaheim, it's Shohei saying, I'm going to start because I give us the best chance to win. This is, all right, I would like to start. I think it would be great, but I know there are 6 other guys back there who can handle this on a given night. And I think for the Dodgers, it is important to keep him safe and healthy because not only are you losing a big arm, you're losing your big bat at the top of the line. I mean, it's a double whammy if Shohei goes down.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he can still hit, obviously. But this is where the long-term question becomes, Greg. Like, do you really need Shohei's arm? Or are you only basically playing to his desires?
So, no, need is relative, right? Like, because you have so many other guys, you don't need Shohei's arm. They won a World Series last year without his arm.
Right.
So, it's a very nice extra piece that you want him to because that's kind of the whole Shohei thing is he does 2 different things. But if he only hits, I'm totally happy.
You sure? Are you sure about that?
1,000%.
If you never, ever see Shohei Ohtani pitch in a Dodger uniform, you'll be happy?
Absolutely.
And that's because of the World Series I'm taking
The World Series,
That's fair.
You've already made money hand over fist. You've made his contract back.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
I think that would.
I want to see
serious.
it. But Marcus, if you never see Shohei pitch and he only hits, or even flip it the other way around, if he never hits again and he only pitches and he's amazing pitching, are you going to be okay?
As long as they're winning,
yeah,
then it's
Yeah,
fine.
Exactly.
I don't know, though.
But, I mean, there's part of me that's just like, I just want to see it.
We were sold a bill of goods.
I just want to see it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there would be a genuine disappointment if the Halos were the only team that Shohei ever pitched for in the bigs. I really honestly do.
He'll pitch. He will pitch this year.
Can we go back to the idea of maybe moving him to the bullpen, making him a closer?
I don't love that. That to me, that feels like too much of a psychological lift every day for one guy, or not every day necessarily, but every opportunity. There's dudes that can barely handle that role, and that's all they do when they wake up in the morning knowing they're going to do that whole day. You know what I'm saying? It's the hardest job in the game, technically, in terms of, leverage and, the spot and all that. I think you're asking a lot of a guy to be a closer and even get close to getting to the plate. Maybe that's just me. I mean, maybe he could handle it, but that would be unique on a level that even Shohei for me would be a tall task.
Yeah, I'm not so big on him as a closer either. If there was actually a starting pitcher that I'd want to see as a closer, it'd be Dustin May over Shohei.
Yeah.
Also, you already have like 7 closers in the bullpen right now with Tanner Scott and Michael Kopech and Blake Trine. You got enough dudes back there. But if you take a starting pitcher, it's not Bobby Miller. It's Dustin May.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's got the craziest stuff. And, he's hardest to hit. But, man, that was a tough shot off of Bobby Miller's dome.
Ooh, hopefully he's okay. That was apparently it was 106 miles per hour off his face.
He did walk off under his own power.
Thankfully.
So,
yeah, we saw that.
But, yeah, that's just terrifying.
Is anybody getting out to spring training from the station? Is anybody going?
I'm going just on my own recognizance.
Yeah.
When?
They letting you out of prison, buddy?
I'll be there next weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to Camelback or not. I'm just there basically for 24, 36 hours, something like that.
Okay.
Want a buddy to go with?
Sure. Here's my I'm old story for the day. Like,
sure.
I used to go. When I was in college, it was a spring break trip. My best friend went to Arizona State. I'd go sleep on his couch, and we would go back when lawn seats were still $5 for ball games. Now it's like regular season prices to get into spring training.
Yeah,
games.
it's a little different. It's a little different.
So, yeah.
Anyway, what we got on the other side, Greg?
It's Sports Graffiti time.
Sports Graffiti time. Mason and Ireland, Marcus and Clinton, ESPN, Los Angeles, kiddos.
Somehow, some way, the superstars end up in Los Angeles.
You don't come here for nothing else than championship, so I have everything left to prove, so the goal is to win the championship.
Welcome home, Luka.
Back to Luka. Luka, step back, another three. He hit it again. And Luka has swished 2 threes.
What does this mean for the Lakers' chances at another chip? I guess it's time to find out.
Luka still dribbling, wide open for 3. Good.
It's a gift. We're talking about a 25-year-old that is top 3 player in the universe.
I get to play in the greatest club in the world, and I'm excited for this new journey.
I can't think of a more amazing starting point to build a roster for the next decade, and I know he has the drive to win that we have here. Our fans are going to see that every night on the court.
This is the home of the Lakers and the new home of Luka, the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
So Mark Real from Real Fathers writes, I always say on the air, you have to have the right family law firm that is going to get you the happiness you deserve and the justice you deserve.
Really, the legal system is designed and set up for fathers to fail. I set out to create a firm and to create something that would help all men navigate that successfully.
We have a new phone number for Real Fathers Rights.
833-ESPN-710.
And RFR710.com.
Yes, RFR710.com.
Hey, it's DFAR. If you're like me, you just don't want to watch the game. You want the best experience every time. That's why Absolute Sport is a game changer. VIP access to the biggest games, exclusive pregame parties, luxury hotels, whether it's courtside, ringside, or the 50-yard line, Absolute Sport makes sure you're there, not just watching, you're living the action. Visit us.absolute-sport.com. That's ABSOLUT-sport, and make your next sporting experience absolutely unforgettable.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Right now, get our Value Bowl combo for only $8.99. Waba Grill, it's for you.
Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergatt.com.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
There's LeBron and Luka, the dynamic duo taking over the NBA.
I can't believe that we just had an assist, LeBron James to Luka Doncic.
But before that, there was the original duo, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
Ireland has an idea. I do. I think it's stupid, but there are other ideas out there.
More Mason and Ireland right now.
In Ireland, Marcus and Clinton here. Sports Graffiti's coming up, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Quickly, though, I talk a lot of trash about the YouTube chat because they're not very productive, but they have fun with each other. But oftentimes it gets a little nasty, so that's not for me. But, dude, Bubba Holmberg is having a day in the chat.
He's on one right now.
He's on one. He's a big-time troll, and he's funny, but this took me out. The Lakers are bringing in Anthony Rendon to teach Luka about dedication.
Oh, man. That's funny. That's well done.
That is funny.
Well played.
More of that, YouTube chat.
Well played.
Less sniping at each other. That made me laugh. 877-710-ESPN.
By the way, there's a guy on the mound right now. His name's not going to play.
Yeah.
He's giving up runs.
Yeah. The Dodgers are shutting everything down. 877-710-ESPN. Sports Graffiti. Eddie, you're on Mason in Ireland, buddy.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Hey, Clinton, the other day you and Travis were talking about, Shohei and Aaron Judge, who was the better player. I think the not simple solution, but the solution would be for the MLB to just give one MVP award. I think they're oversaturated and no other league does 2 awards. And with the universal DH and every team playing each other now, it makes it easier for, to revamp the award system.
Appreciate the phone call. This is not a terrible idea. I don't love it simply because I think it would just be I don't like the idea of taking away awards, but I also am not that pressed about who's rated top 1 by MLB Network. Sorry. I mean, it's a discussion, but how important is this in most people's minds who are not people named Michael K? You know what I mean? I'm not tripping over that. I will say this though. The rationale I gave was that number one, obviously Shohei is who he is, but I just think Shohei's a better player. I often don't need the eyeball test is enough for me. And somebody was getting after me today on the internet because they don't know anything. And I said, well, Shohei scored more runs. And they're like, well, that's situational, blah, blah. I'm like, I know, but it still happened. And the best player on every team is the player that scores the most runs. That's how that works.
That is the goal of the game.
Yes.
To score runs.
Right. And it's like, and this guy's like, tell me you don't know ball without knowing ball. I'm like, I think you, my friend, are the non-ball knower here. If you think that all circumstances don't add up to something, that's the whole point of having a player that good is that when you're given the opportunity, you score the runs.
Not to mention the fact that how many times was the run scored because Shohei drove himself in?
Right. It's a whole thing.
It's a thing.
877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Yeah, this day has turned drastically for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They're down 4-3, but when Bobby Miller gets rocked off the dome, you're not going to throw in anybody. Man, this kid looks like he just got out of high school.
Yeah. Justin Jarvis, who
I'm not familiar with his work.
Apparently was last year was with the Syracuse Mets, a non-roster invitee. I'm just looking through. He has I don't think has he ever sniffed the big leagues? I'm not sure that he has.
He's wearing number 89, so that's unlikely.
Yeah, he has not. He has not ever sniffed the big leagues. He's been in AAA a few years, and now trying to see what he can do with the Dodgers.
Mookie is still in at shortstop, these are important innings for Mookie. This isn't actually garbage time for Marcus Lynn.
No, he needs to just get reps. That's all it is. I mean, just get him those reps. Look, it was a thing that last year the idea was sort of aborted because of circumstances. He was still working on getting throws over to first base, and so this is, I think, that opportunity.
877-710-ESPN if you want to call into Sports Graffiti. I actually think this is a much bigger question than people are willing to admit, which is what's happening on the infield. Because, yes, is Mookie capable of playing the position? Is Mookie the kind of guy that will willingly do that? Yeah. But is that genuinely your best option as far as maximizing your lineup and keeping him healthy, to be honest, quite as well, Greg? You know what I'm saying? Is there a solution? Is there a non-Mookie solution that we like to what's going on with the Dodgers?
Yeah, I put Tommy Edman down there. You have Miguel Rojas. Put Miguel Rojas there. I mean, we don't know what Hesson Kim looks like at short, but that's another guy that can be there. You have options at shortstop. That's what's great about the Dodgers too, Mark, is that this team has options at every single position. in my mind, I just think it's ridiculous that you put a guy like Mookie Betts at shortstop who's never been there. You can put him at second where he wanted to be originally. He got forced into it last year.
Yeah.
Put him at second. It's great.
I kind of
love
agree.
it. Just move him right there.
I feel like you just keep him at second base.
Yes.
Like I think the shortstop experiment is a bridge too far. It's too cute by a half. And not because I don't think he can play the position again, but I think that you're going to eventually need a different player there. And if you're putting him at risk, effectively, by having him at the busiest position on the infield, I don't know. I don't love it, Marcus.
No, I mean, again, like, and this is the thing with the Dodgers. You have, because Greg, you mentioned, they have so many guys who can do so many things. You're not forced into this.
Yeah.
You're not mandatorily having to put him there. I get it. You want to be able to keep him on the field while also, using your outfield depth, right? Because you're going to have Teo in the lineup. You're going to try to get Edman in as much as possible. You still have Pages there that you want to roll in. You added Michael Conforto. You've got so many guys in the outfield. Somebody was inevitably going to have to move, but I don't know if shortstop's the right spot.
I honestly forgot about the Michael Conforto move. Yeah, that's a factor. You got a lot of options here.
A lot of options.
That's what spring training is for. As the Cubs drive in another one, who is this guy motoring around?
Motoring's not
That
the word
dude
I'd
is
use.
huge.
He was
rumbling, stumbling is what I would use.
Stumbling.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anyway, 877-710 ESPN 877-710-3776. James, you're on Sports Graffiti with Mason and Ireland.
Hey, love the show. Clinton, congratulations on your morning show.
Appreciate
I'm already loving it. I knew you was going to be good at it, but we're getting you every day now. So that's
Thank
great.
you, fam.
Anytime. As far as Luka and the Lakers, it's going to take some time. I know he needs that break mentally because, he didn't know he was going to get broken up with, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And it was just so sudden, for Anthony Davis also. But people just assume, like you guys said earlier, that he's going to want to be a Laker because it's the Lakers. Lakers are a great organization, but some people are not well tailored for this fishbowl. They're just not. They're just not.
I feel you. James, let me ask you
what
this. Let me ask you a quick question, James.
Yeah.
How far do you think the Lakers need to go to make this a foregone conclusion that Luka stays this season in terms of playoff runs?
Hey, I'm glad you asked. It slipped through their hands last night. Well, I shouldn't say that. But what's his name? Williams? Is that his name?
Mark Williams, yeah.
For Charlotte?
Yeah.
They said he felt his physical, and he came out last night, and he showed, 7-footer, dude got size. And that was one of the missing pieces that we needed, but Luka wanted. So they're going to have to do some things to show, and I know they will. But it's like time. They're on the time clock now because that slipped through their hands. And what he showed last night, that was a little revenge. Like he said, I felt my physical. Watch this.
All right, thanks for the phone call. James is in and out there. It was tough.
Mark Williams, not great last night.
Not great. Got banged on, too.
Yeah.
That was pretty much
that was
story of Mark
awful,
Williams' season.
right.
Yeah. Didn't love that. I think it's an interesting question, and I honestly don't know that I believe that playoff success is the only thing that matters here. You know what I'm saying? If they get knocked out in the second round or if they go to the Western Conference Finals, again, Luka was in the finals last year. I don't necessarily know. I was asking him just because I wanted to elicit an answer and see what he thought, but I don't even know how correlated it is to that, Marcus.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you asked the question, how far do the Lakers have to go to lock in, to guarantee that Luka comes back? And I don't think there's an easy answer. I don't think there's one simple thing about it because you're right. He's had success in the playoffs, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's not a money thing. He would have got more money had he stayed in Dallas than he comes out here. And I do think, to James's point, look, not everybody wants to be in LA. We think it's great, but not everybody wants to be here. And that's sort of understandable. And you have to kind of figure out where Luka's head is at in terms of being in this city, being with this organization, and whether or not it's where he wants to call home long term.
So I was talking to Sedano yesterday on the morning show, Clinton and Friends, which you can find here on ESPN 710. And he said he's not taking anything into account until that first Mavericks-Lakers game.
So
it's
next
on Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
February the 25th. And I don't necessarily know that I disagree with that, but it's an interesting way to look at this. Maybe there is that one thing. Let's just say, let's use the caller's analogy. Mm-hmm. He got broken up with. And okay, maybe you get broken up with, and the person who wanted to date you all the time, you say, okay, I'll give you a shot. But you're going to see that X at like a dance or
Right.
something down the line, and you're like, none of this actually matters until I get a shot to confront my former team. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe all of this kind of comes out in the wash in terms of where his headspace is at, knowing the Mavericks are on the schedule. If the Mavs had been nowhere near on the schedule and they weren't going to face them for another month or something, this would be different. But if you get traded to the team and the team you just came from is on the schedule within a pay period or whatever, like, yeah, that might be where you're focused until it happens. You know what I'm saying, Greg?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting. I'm really excited for that game, by the way. But and would it not be shocking to you if Max Christie comes back here and just goes off, locks everybody up, has like 5 steals, 25 points, and he's just an amazing player?
This is your time to get your Max Christie takes off. All right, Greg is in love with Max Christie.
That's of the two. I understand you have to get rid of AD to get Luka Doncic.
Right.
I was really sad about Max Christie.
So you would have rather Dalton Connect?
Yeah, 100%. Wow. 100. If I could have chose, yeah. Dalton Connect, bye-bye, Max Christie stays. He was the best on-ball defender we had. Like, and he locks up opposing guards. There was so much that Max Christie was really coming into his own. He was diving towards the basket. He was hitting threes. He was becoming just an all-around player that you need on a team. And so to lose him, I get it. You need to make it happen. You need to let him go. But I was sad to see him go.
Yeah, no, he's a good all-around player. Is this another call we have here?
Oh, I got to answer it first, but sure.
All right,
You
never
just pick it
mind.
up.
Sorry.
Let's give it a shot. Brian,
you're on Sports Graffiti with Mason in Ireland.
No, he gone.
Dang. All right.
So you talk about, the Mavericks coming here next week. I know it's a little ways away. I'm very curious when they go there. It's April 9th. The Lakers go to Dallas.
So you're extending this metaphor, this breakup Reese metaphor, all the way to April?
Well, because, look, I don't think the breakup metaphor is, but I'm curious to see what the reaction to Luka coming back is going to be, how Luka, how he embraces or maybe doesn't embrace the fans versus the fans versus the organization is going to be two different things, right? Like, he may embrace the fans. He may give the organization a little bit of a cold shoulder. I'm just curious about that.
I mean, dude, you're right. What do you do? Do you play a tribute video?
Right. Like, how do you...
To the guy you willingly traded? Potentially to have every fan pull out a pitchfork and burn your arena down?
They're already, putting out threats.
That's going to be awkward.
Yeah, right? Like, how do you...
I didn't realize there was another home game with the Mavs on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
As Mason
it's
said.
late in the season.
Uh-oh.
We do have some news.
Yeah.
The Lakers have come out and said that LeBron James for tonight is questionable.
Shocker.
So that most likely he's not going to play on a back-to-back in Portland.
Yeah.
And Luka Doncic is out. So is Jared Vanderbilt and, of course, Maxi Kleber, but he's been out.
So they could lose this game. I mean, you don't want to lose that game. But if you can lose to the Hornets with those guys in, you can lose to the Blazers on the road. Yeah.
Right.
So you lose. That means you'll lose in 3 consecutive games. Utah, Charlotte, Portland, if they lose.
Okay, so if that happens, let's just say I'm not assuming a loss, but let's just say that due to injury, Marcus and whatever, that they take an L in Portland tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for a J.J. Redick meltdown, blow up, call everybody out, MF everybody out in the building to get them back on track.
Maybe.
I'm rooting for that. I am such a fan of how J.J. Redick communicates about this team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that might be his time to go, for lack of a better term, full Mick Cronin. You know what I'm saying? And just blow up. You know what I'm saying? Blow up. Because I don't care. 3 losses in a row. These are the differences between 4 seeds and 5 seeds. That's what happens. It's games like this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, with Luka here, right, and LeBron and everything they're building, right now they're sitting in the 5 spot. But, you hear this chatter, this rumbling of if this team gets hot, if they put it together, can they make a run at the 3, maybe at the 2? Can they? Well, you can't do that losing 3 games in a row to teams at the bottom of the Western or of the NBA standings. You just can't do that.
Still got to play the games. That's the thing. What's on the other side, Greg?
More of this.
More of this?
Yeah.
You want to talk about football? You don't have any? You want to jam the NFL into the show?
Do you want to jam? I mean, Marcus knows football better than anybody else
look,
here.
we don't look if it's there. If it just appears naturally, we can do it.
We're working all these things out on the air. It's
right?
a double fill-in situation.
I mean, you do have a rundown that you can be like, oh, that's something we can talk about.
Marcus, Clinton, Mason, Ireland, Greg, Brian, ESPN, 710, Los Angeles.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays after Mason in Ireland.
Cappy, I'm a little disappointed. I just looked and I saw that you didn't take home the salsa I gave you for your birthday.
I took home the hot sauce.
Oh.
I just left
Yeah.
the chunky
Thick and
salsa.
chunky for
Right.
you.
Thick and chunky is what I'm going to call myself when I come into the ring against Birdie. Now weighing in at an even 205 pounds, they know him as thick and chunky.
Sedano and Cap today at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Is it time to sell your home? Maybe you want to downsize. Maybe you want to move. Or maybe you've inherited a home that you just don't want to hang on to. Whatever your reasons to sell, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage has been buying homes for decades. Their seller reviews speak for themselves. They're people who buy from people and will provide custom solutions that work for your needs. They offer and will buy with cash, and they can close in days. The great part is you don't have to worry about spending money on repairs, preparing your home to be shown, or having people come in and out. And there are no agents, just a great offer and an easy way to give you peace of mind so you can walk away happy. So if it's time to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage for a free, no obligation offer today. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or visit sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey, it's Mace. Looking for some fun? Dive into Chumba Casino, your ultimate destination for free, fun-to-play social casino games. Play slots, bingo, and more whenever and wherever you want. With new games dropping every week, there's always something fresh. Lounge on the sofa or play on the go. Play now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, and Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for an exciting new job in the world of professional sports and entertainment? Legends Hospitality is conducting on-the-spot interviews this Saturday, February 22nd and Sunday, February 23rd from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at SoFi Stadium. We're looking for enthusiastic candidates for part-time positions in concessions, merchandise, culinary, and more, offering competitive wages and flexible schedules. Seeking valuable experiences or looking to boost your income? We have the perfect role for you. Enter the stadium at Pinkay Avenue and Veris Drive and check in at VIP Entry 11. Visit legends.net/careers for openings and applications.
Hey, everybody, it's John Ireland. We all like to discuss and debate who we think is the GOAT, right? But the real question is, who is the GOAT? That's right, the GOAT. ESPN LA and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. Just upload your pic or video to Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok and tell us your favorite Lakers memory. You must follow at ESPN Los Angeles and be sure to include two hashtags, hashtag LakersGoFote and hashtag promotion. And you can win some serious prizes like courtside seats, Lakers gear, a year's supply of my favorite, BBGO. BBGO's mouth-watering Korean snacks and meals are ready in minutes. My favorite is the juicy and flavorful steamed dumplings with the sticky white rice. So easy and so good. We're looking for the Lakers GOAT. Is it you?
And it is Mason and Ireland, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
Like, that's the problem in the world, is there aren't enough happy shows, fun shows.
Mason and Ireland. 710 ESPN.
You heard Ireland just talking about it. ESPN LA, the Lakers, and BBO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. That could be you. If so, you could win the ultimate fan package, including courtside seats and a year's supply of BBGO, which sounds like a huge, huge boost there. If this is for you, go to LakersGoFoat.com, LakersGFOAT.com to learn how to submit your entry.
Marcus Grant, the big CY, information in Ireland here on a Thursday afternoon. We're going to get a little bit into your realm here.
Okay.
The gridiron.
All right.
The football world.
Let's do it.
So this is the time of year where I think my lucky stars I can tune out of football because it's just not that close. There's mock drafts, but I'm just like...
You're not in a hand size season?
Underwear Olympics, hand size season, don't need any of it, but I understand it fuels a lot of your vehicles. Where are you right now in terms of how you're looking at your mocks, what you like storyline-wise, and who you think is actually going to be sort of a sleeper type of situation? Where are you?
I'm just starting. Like, I will say this. I do sort of enjoy kind of taking a break a little bit, right? And my gig's mostly fantasy football. We end at the end of the regular season, so I get to kind of enjoy the playoffs and the Super Bowl as a fan. And now, okay, I'm slowly I don't get too geeked over the combine.
Okay.
It's just, I sort of pay attention. But I am kind of curious about the storylines, especially I think a year like this. You don't have any huge quarterback prospects. I know, I'm sure the Sanders family would not appreciate me saying that out loud.
Okay.
But look, you got Cam Ward, you got Shedeur Sanders.
Jackson Dart's in there.
Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe. I mean, there are some names. I don't think there's any guys that are franchise changers. But I am sort of curious about some of the machinations, right? Like, do the Giants make a move? What do the Raiders do? Because they could use a quarterback. And I think some of these teams that might be there in the trade market trying to move up or move down, I think there's some intrigue with some of that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you this, because this is something I've said on television for a long time. It's something I've believed for even longer. Quarterback is the worst coach position in the league. And I think that we are seeing a shift towards teams being a little smarter about how they do things, so that if you don't have sort of an obvious, and I know this sounds weird saying it with Jalen Hurts because he played at Alabama, but like there were ideas of shortcomings of his game, and the Eagles worked around that. They said, we can do it with this guy. He can use his legs. He can do whatever. But I think the idea that you've got to get a must-hit walk into the building and change your entire franchise is going away a little bit, because it's not an option every year. There was an era which that was an option, but I don't know that everybody believes that, nor should they, quite frankly, in terms of how you acquire a quarterback.
I think there are two things that NFL teams have started doing with the quarterback position. One, which is a smart and seemingly obvious thing that never happened until recently, is teams are sort of building around their quarterback versus the other way around, right? You find a guy, you see what his skill set is, and you start to build the roster around that to have him be comfortable knowing that this is you're handing this guy the keys to your franchise. The other thing is, I think teams are less afraid to take multiple swings at the position in drafts.
Sure.
Look, once upon a time, it was sort of weird. It was unthinkable that Washington would draft Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins in the same draft.
To be fair, they botched the hell out of that.
I mean, they did. Well, yes and no. I mean, it sort of worked in a backwards way. After RG3 gets hurt, Cousins comes in and sort of takes over.
But the reason why he got hurt is because they had disagreements at the top as to who should be playing.
Yeah,
they screwed it up.
No, they
Trust me,
did.
we were there covering it. That's how I know.
It was awful. So you got that.
Anyway,
I
I didn't mean to get distracted.
No, I get it. But,
you like that? Right. Exactly.
But also, I think more recent vintage, you had the Cardinals draft Josh Rosen. That didn't work out. The very next year, they draft Kyler Murray.
Right.
So I think teams are less, tying themselves into one guy. I mean, it still happens, but I think teams are more willing to, hey, look, after a couple of years, we can figure out if this is going to happen or not, and then we can go and take another shot at this.
Well, the reason I say that is because teams like Greg's Raiders need a quarterback, but do you necessarily want to go for the guy that's going to have, I don't know, pressure left and right, or do you want to, I mean, as a Jackson Dart kind of in your plans where you say, listen, we'll get a guy we know is capable, we can work on the development while we work on the rest of our team.
Yeah, I'm very much in that camp. I would love somebody like Jackson Dart, and you can get him like third, fourth round probably, Marcus.
That's a little low, but
where do you think Jackson Dart is going to go?
He may be a second round guy.
Second round.
Likely,
if you can get second, third, wherever it happens to be, you get Jackson Dart. You bring in somebody like a Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers, which I don't care. I would love Aaron. Somebody for a year that's just going to be able to teach Dart, and then he take over the team.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
because you have a plan moving forward.
Right, that's my thing. Is that
I want a plan.
So many of these teams, they just say, "Well, we picked the guy, and that was the plan." And you're like, "Yo, bro, that's a bad plan." Because if it doesn't work, what do you look like? And this is where I want to mention this. The Chiefs did this extremely well. They had Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
They picked Pat Mahomes. That year where they won a ton of games, Pat Mahomes played in like 3 or 4 games at the end of games. They lucked out a little because Smith got injured, but then Pat stepped in. That's how you're supposed to kind of do it.
Well, I mean, I think the Packers have been a great example of that, right? Going from Brett Favre and having Aaron Rodgers sit for a couple of years before Favre moves on. Rodgers is there. Jordan Love sits for a couple of years before he steps in and takes over the court. But teams don't do that now. And I think part of it is because from the moment you draft a guy and you have him on that rookie contract, the clock is sort of ticking. And so if you got him for 5 years, I think teams are hesitant to burn 2 of those years with a guy sitting on a bench. So, that's why
I feel you.
I love Caleb Williams, right? I thought the expectations for Caleb Williams were really high this year. There were times when he showed like he belongs in this league. There were times where it's like, bro, you got to get rid of the football.
Don't love where that's going, by the way.
Don't
love how that's going in Chicago.
Hey, they got him Ben Johnson, right? He's the savior. Ben Johnson's going to change everything.
Let's hope so.
He's going to bring joy to Lakeshore Drive.
Let's hope
all
so.
of it.
He's looking a little awkward at that presser. Didn't exactly win the presser. It wasn't Jacksonville level awkward.
Duval.
That was weird. That weirded me out, man. No, but to your point, I think you're right. Different teams do it different ways, and it feels like this year with Shedeur, with Cam
Ward, yeah.
like there are options here, even if somebody's not off the charts awesome, for different teams who have different plans. You know?
Yeah. I mean, so Greg, would you be okay if Shedeur fell to 6 to the Raiders? Would you want him there?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks that was out there. But if he drops, that means that the other teams that need a quarterback said, no, we don't want that guy. That is a little bit concerning to me, but I think Shedeur would be the right guy.
Okay, but that's a bad way to scout a guy. My opinion. If other teams
I'm not
don't,
a scout.
I know, but I'm saying like if I'm a Raider fan, I don't look at that and say, oh well, other teams didn't want him, therefore we shouldn't want him either. That would be that to me is short-sighted.
A lot of teams didn't want Lamar Jackson.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
From what I saw from Shedeur, because he was at Colorado with Dion, you see a lot of him.
Yeah.
He looked like a good, legit quarterback.
I would say so.
I'd be very much in favor of Shedeur.
Smart guy, good kid too.
I just can't imagine he drops to 6. I know Daniel Jeremiah has him at 6.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen a couple mocks with him falling to 6.
I'm also very curious about the Travis Hunter situation.
Like
whether or not he can play more than one position in the NFL.
Is he forced to pick a position?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think if you leave it up to him, he'll play both ways. I think if you're an NFL team,
I think he can play 3 ways if you let it up to him. He could return punts.
Yeah,
too.
He's special teams. Yeah, for sure.
He did play with Dion.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. There's an obvious pro comp.
I do think if you're an NFL team, you have him primarily focus on one, and maybe you have a package for him doing something else.
Yeah, I think that goes defense, special teams, offense is third. Mm-hmm. I honestly believe that. I think that his skill set, if you get better as a defender first, you are going to be a better offensive player by merit. Maybe that's just me and my ridiculous football philosophies, but I just how I happen to think. And having a weapon like that on the defensive side of the ball primarily would be, for me, a larger advantage. You know what I'm saying? If I've got somebody who every time they touch the ball might go to the house on the defensive side, that's a totally different situation than, okay, the guys who are supposed to score just might score. I
mean, in theory, if he is who we think he is, that's one half of the field that's off limits to an offense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. I know that's the argument, right? Do you want that lockdown? Do you want a Sauce Gardner, or do you potentially want a Jamar Chase? And I think that's the argument that NFL teams are going to have.
NFL. Where is the NFL draft this year?
It is in Green Bay.
What?
I believe.
Is it really?
Are we serious?
Is it not in New York?
Oh, I haven't been in New York for a few years now. It's been moving around.
Outside.
Yeah. It's been moving around.
They're doing it outdoors in Green Bay?
I believe it is. It is in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
GKB gets up there a lot. What is the weather forecast?
I say late April in Green Bay.
Has the permafrost thawed?
Still seems pretty chilly.
Seems like it's still probably a little cold.
Pretty cold,
pretty
dog.
cold
I don't know if
there.
it's not, maybe not snowing. You hope? I mean, I've never been to Green
There's
Bay.
There's no chance that Travis and Shedeur show up to that.
No.
Not a
0% chance they don't show up to it. They're
No.
going to.
I guarantee you they will probably stay in Colorado.
They'll hang out somewhere else. They're not going to that.
I'll bet you money. I don't think they're going to go to that.
Because they will have a joint party somewhere.
Has somebody not actually shown a top pick, top 5
top
pick?
10 pick?
2 top 10 picks not shown up to the draft?
I mean, we have to look it up. It's worth your research time. Let's review. How long have they been doing? I mean, that's a good question is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how long have they been doing this? They've
been doing the green room stuff for a while.
No. How long have they been doing outdoor drafts?
Outdoor drafts. This only lasts 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. So they started, I want to say, in Philly?
It was either Philly,
Chicago.
They did Nashville.
Oh, I know Nashville. I was going to tell that story in a second. But they did Philly, I think Chicago, and then Dallas, right?
Dallas.
And then Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you a story about this quickly since we're here. Dude, I went to that Nashville draft. Craziest.
I heard it's bananas.
Craziest event I've ever
heard it's bananas, yeah.
By millions of miles. I got there. I can't even remember what I was doing there. I was covering something. It wasn't even the draft that I was covering. It was something else. I don't even remember why I was there. But the draft was going on. And I was staying with my buddy's younger brother. And he picked me up from the airport. And he was like, bro, this is the most people Nashville's ever seen. I'm like, dude, you're 25. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, Nashville has tons of people all the time. Later in the trip, I ended up staying with my homie who I went to college with, who was 20 years older, obviously. And he was like, bro, he lived there for 10 years. He's like, bro, I've never seen this many people in Nashville. I was like, oh, okay. I guess my man's was right. And so here's the thing. The first 3 years they had this deal, Brian, Dallas, 200,000 or so over the course of the weekend.
Yeah.
Chicago, 200,000 or so over the course of the weekend. Philly, same number. Number of people that were in Nashville over the course of the weekend? How about 600,000?
Like 600,000, yeah.
Wow. It was as many as the previous ones combined on Broadway. It was totally out of control. Ton of fun, too. Not going to lie. Not going to lie, it was. I had a blast.
I missed that one. I went to Dallas, which was, I went to Vegas, which was interesting.
They had one in Vegas?
They had one in Vegas.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, it's Vegas, but, they shut down a good part of the Strip.
Right.
Because it was like two stages. There was one right in front of the Bellagio. There was one kind of off the Strip a little bit, over by near where the Sphere is now.
Okay.
And it was like football Coachella. It's kind of the best way to describe it.
That's very weird.
It was just
people
kind of
wearing funky outfits?
People wonder, but just like maybe substitute the funky outfits for just random hipster football jerseys. Like that was it.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was kind of the vibe there, And then like, Ice Cube performed one night, and it was just Vegas on like 100.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy. NFL draft, quite the time. Green Bay, I don't think they're showing up.
I don't know if that's happening in Green Bay.
So to the question you asked earlier, Clinton, Jonathan Watson says Travis and Shador already announced they're doing a draft party in Boulder.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
In 2015, Jameis and Mariota went 1-2 and didn't go to the draft in Chicago. Myles Garrett, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, Trayvon Walker, and all first-round picks watched from home.
Yeah, I told you.
All right.
Guys don't show up.
This is my research department, Jonathan Watson.
Well done. Well done. I'm just saying, dudes don't show up all the time. And I don't see those brothers going up to Green Bay.
Not to Green Bay.
The state.
Not to Green Bay.
Coming up, we're talking about machines and adding more to your house. And I might start yelling about robot umps if you're lucky. Mason and Ireland, Marcas and Clinton on ESPN Los Angeles.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey, it's D4. If you're like me, you just don't want to watch the game. You want the best experience every time. That's why Absolute Sport is a game changer. VIP access to the biggest games, exclusive pregame parties, luxury hotels, whether it's courtside, ringside, or the 50-yard line, Absolute Sport makes sure you're there, not just watching, you're living the action. Visit us.absolute-sport.com, that's ABSOLUT-sport, and make your next sporting experience absolutely unforgettable.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Trav with DeMarco.
Only one all-star defense team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Don't get sacked by others. Joseph will help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000.
Let Joseph and his team score a touchdown for you.
Mom, I need to lay low for a few days.
Lay low? What's going on?
I only paid for this Hyundai Tucson.
Christopher Allen Lynch.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you want at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Right now, get 2.99% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends March 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gat today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergat.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergat.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergat.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Mason in Ireland on 710.
I've got to be honest. I have no idea how you do it.
I'm not sure how I do it.
I would not. Would not be my scene.
More of Mason in Ireland right now.
Relax yourself, girl. You'll be so glad. ESPN LA, the Lakers, and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT. I got it this time. The greatest fan of all time. Enter by telling us your favorite Lakers memory and posting to social media. You must follow at ESPN Los Angeles and must hashtag Lakers GOAT and hashtag promotion. I know that was a lot. All of these directions are on LakersGoat.com. That's LakersGFOAT.com. All right, Mason in Ireland here. Marcus and Clinton here on a Thursday. Greg sent something to us in the group chat that was so bizarre that I didn't even want to open it because I just looked at the thumbnail and it looked like some weird AI kind of sketchy situation. Bergie, can you please describe what it is that you wanted us to look at?
It's just like it's called. It says first look at the world's first synthetic human robot called Protoclone, and it looks like a human with no skin and no head. It's terrifying, Marcus. This thing will take us and destroy everyone.
I want all of these robotics developers, all these clone and android developers. Please watch one science fiction movie. Just one. Just one. Look, I saw Ex Machina, and it seemed it was all sweet when Oscar Isaac was in a house with this android that was very shapely and attractive, and then next thing you know he's bleeding out on the floor and the movie's over. Just watch one science fiction movie. That's all I'm asking.
I'm not gonna lie, this robot kind of looks like Mason playing basketball.
It doesn't have the movements
it's
yet.
Not exactly the most fluid.
Well, if you put AI in there, and all of a sudden it starts learning and learning and learning.
Allen Iverson's the only AI I
First
recognize.
look at the world's first synthetic human robot called Protoclone. I mean, we're not nothing to say to the fact that this thing looks like it's being hanged. You know what I mean? Which is also extremely weird on the presentation front. It is suspended from various wires, and it looks like it's trying to get out of them. I need to know so much more.
My first reaction is that it looks like something out of an anime where a giant robot has to come and shoot it and take it down.
Right.
Why
do we want
But it
this?
won't die. You shoot it, it's not going to go down.
It'll fall, but then it'll get back up.
Why do we
and come
want
after
this?
You. We don't.
God,
we
this is
don't.
weird.
Because people like Mason want the world to evolve with robots. This is his whole thing.
I don't know that I consider that evolution.
I don't know that I need that.
To him, it does, and it's terrifying. And I'm with you. Just watch one movie where this thing's happened.
Why do we? Oh, hold on. What does Mason want robots to actually do?
Brian, back me up here.
What is he looking for the robots to do, or is he like the
Everything
idea?
for him. No, he wants even one of those brain chips in his head, so he doesn't have to think anymore.
Well, then what's the point of living your life?
He wants to be like.
There's one way to not have to think anymore.
He wants to go what's Blake Snell's K per 9? Bink, got it. Like he wants to be able to have it.
how that's gonna work.
But I carry a little computer in my pocket. Like I can just look it up.
But he wants it in his head.
Oh my god! So people can just think he's smart.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's
he always
crazy
He's
to
all
me.
in on the Waymos now. He's not even driving himself anymore.
Wait, does he do Waymo?
Oh, yeah, all the
I
time
see
now.
them all the time.
We
Drive
talked
by
about
me.
this on the morning show today because I saw one driving in and it freaked me out.
I see them a lot. I'm like taking my kid to school. Like I drive past. I think like their station is somewhere near where his school is. I see them all the time. It's creepy.
Oh, I had to steer clear of it. I was like, I don't know what that thing's gonna do.
I actually saw someone in a Waymo the other day, but he was riding in the front passenger seat, which seemed extra creepy to me.
That was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, that's worse, right?
Right,
Like
that's
being in
way
the passenger
worse.
seat. That means I don't know.
Is it worse?
You're watching someone not drive.
Right, like that's.
I mean, you're watching them from the back seat
you
too.
can-
Yeah, I don't know,
look at-
somehow in the back it just seems a little. I mean, it's
Feels more
all
taxi.
unsavory. It's a little less unsavory.
That's an interesting question. I feel that if I were to actually get in one of these, which I never will, I might get in the front seat in case I had to jerk the wheel.
I did have that thought, though.
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
I did
I
have
don't
that
know
thought.
if they'll
Like,
do anything, but yeah. I feel
Yeah.
it, yeah.
like if things go haywire, do I need to jump in over to the driver's seat and maybe take over? Sort of.
I don't
thing.
want to have to go full. Oh man, Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? iRobot, man.
Have you ever seen like all these Waymos? There's always these videos and things all online, TikTok
People
and all that.
attacking them and
no,
stuff?
No, not
Yeah.
attacking them. They stop. There's like 4-way stops, and they're all Waymos,
can't.
and they can't figure out
Who
which
goes
one's
first?
which one's supposed to go.
I have so many issues with that too. It's like out of all of the things we could have tried to use this on first, cars are doing just fine.
They're fine.
Like you know what I'm
They're
saying?
fine.
Like we didn't need to apply this technology to the car world. We need it for like washing dishes and mopping floors. You know what I'm saying?
point,
Where's
yeah.
Rosie from the Jetsons?
Right?
That's what we need this for. Oh,
Rosie can get mad, and that would be her.
God,
She would be
this is-
I
terrifying
mean, see,
too.
that's the thing that like has Mace thought about the fact that at some point like this machine could go haywire and it is way stronger than you. Like it is going to overpower
He
you. at
doesn't
some
listen
point.
to. He doesn't listen to it. He doesn't understand that it's going to do that. AI is taught to learn and to get human emotions at some point. That's a bad thing.
are we sure this is real, Greg?
I mean, it's from the Daily Loud.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, are we sure? I understand that.
I
what
hope
it-
it's not.
What I'm saying, like, is this a
Like I hope I'm wrong that this isn't real. Like,
Oh my
I don't
God.
want this. The
'Cause, like-
robot dogs, by the way, terrifying.
Oh no, the robot dogs, they're coming for us all.
Oh, that's how.
if
how
I
we
see
end.
one of those in the building, guess what I do? I exit the building.
it's your building now. That's
My
it.
God.
That is straight up some iRobot.
I don't think
stuff.
this is real, Greg. Like, I think
I
that
hope
what
not.
you shared with us is a real tweet, obviously. But like the way this moves is too awkward.
Maybe it's like a.
And why is it
It's like a
dressed like
It's
that?
like a reject from a Spirit Halloween display.
Yeah. Oh.
But now imagine when they perfect it.
No,
No.
no thanks.
I
That's
don't-
what we're trying to
I
avoid.
don't care to do
is
that.
the T1000 walking down Venice Beach and putting a daggone sliver through your eyeball, like happened in T2.
This is a Black Mirror episode waiting to happen.
Oh my God! Oh yes, Parker came with the ramen because I didn't have time to make it. This is great. All right,
Wow.
Oh,
on
you
the
got
other
ram-
side,
that was
yeah,
a big
Parker,
move by you.
You're the best. Thank you. What's up, fools? On the other side,
Yes, it is.
What's up, fool?
Mason and Ireland on ESPN Los Angeles.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
Now my friend has like a stroller for the dog, and it
Yeah, I
has
can't
all
do
these
that. I'm sorry.
accessories for the dog.
I can't. Every
I'm like, you
time
got a
I'm on
kid.
one of my walks and I see a baby stroller coming the other way,
I love it though.
and
It's
I
so
see a
cute.
baby, it makes me smile.
Oh,
like you
the
see,
baby.
baby's outside, got a little hat. It's
Yeah.
like it's cute, right? It's a little baby. It's awesome. And I see a dog in there, and I'm like, these people.
Really?
Like,
A dog is meant to be walked.
It enrages me.
Dang.
It's
a
so cute,
dog.
though.
Laura, why is
If
it
the
cute?
if the dog can't walk, it's time for the dog to go.
I don't get enraged. I just kind of avoid that person.
It's
We're
like,
on the
dude,
same
what
page.
are you doing? What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Okay,
it's not a
so-
human being. It's
Hold
an
on.
animal.
If it's an
Hold
old
on.
lady, and an old dog,
Little different.
Little different.
That's a companion at that
Yeah,
point. But
correct.
if you are an
Okay, but listen, let me give you a different
how do you feel
perspective.
about e-bikes?
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco.
on 710 ESPN.
Oh, National Margarita Day. Because tequila, lime, and salt solve problems my therapist can't. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Celebrate
Celebrate National Margarita Day. And then, book your stay for the same night. Get a room for as low as $109.
Number 2.
Get a supersonic portable radio when you earn 500 points on your rewards card, the 25th.
And the number 1 reason.
Ricky Smiley, live March 29th.
Morongo, good times.
He's coming. Here he comes.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Empower.
Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really good guitar solo.
ESPN LA and BBGO are going on a quest for the Lakers GOAT. No. Not the GOAT. The GOAT. The greatest Lakers fan of all time. Think it's you? Upload your pic or video to Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok, and tell us your favorite Lakers memory. Use hashtag LakersGoat, GFOAT, and hashtag promotion, and follow at ESPN Los Angeles. The Lakers GOAT is going to be rewarded with courtside seats, a VIP private tour of the Lakers UCLA Health Training Center, a year's supply of BBGO, and more. The Lakers GOAT. Is it you?
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text LIKE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
There's LeBron and Luka, the dynamic duo taking over the NBA.
I can't believe that we just had an assist, LeBron James to Luka Doncic.
But before that, there was the original duo, the OGs of LA Sports Radio.
Ireland has an idea. I do. I think it's stupid, but there are other ideas out there.
More Mason and Ireland right now.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Thank you, Brian. All right, I'm going to tip it off for you guys today here with the news from the NBA today that Victor Wembanyama is going to be out for the rest of the year. I believe it was a blood clot issue that he's going to have. So it's devastating, first of all, for the Spurs, for that franchise. You know, they traded for De'Aaron Fox. They themselves were thinking they can make a little run. But the thing I saw was he was the heavy favorite already for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I think he has the highest blocks per game at like 3.8 something since 1998-99. So what do you think this is, the impact of the game? Because, you know, there's a discussion of is it Wemby, is it Ant-Man as the face of the league? Is this going to hurt that he is now out for the rest of the year?
Well, there's a couple details here. Is he eligible for the award?
He's not.
So he hasn't played enough games to win the award?
I don't believe
Dang.
so. Yeah.
So, yeah, every award. That's why, like, the favorites now changed today for the Defensive Player of the Year. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is now the favorite, but he was heavy favorite.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
I assumed he was still going to win it because he'd had enough games, but they could. Are they allowed to make exceptions? No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
I mean, you would think if there were, this feels
would
like
be the
one.
time.
This
Yeah.
isn't a load management thing.
No,
this is just a straight up injury.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they should have built in some sort of provision so that you can say if something like this happens and somebody's that far ahead, it's like, bro, you couldn't have done anything about that. I hate this for him.
I hate this for him
for a lot of reasons.
I hate it for the Spurs. I hate it for basketball. Although this thought popped up. Does this improve their chances of winning the lottery and getting Cooper
100%.
Getting Cooper Flag.
100%.
Like this could be a Robinson Duncan situation all over again. Right?
I mean,
I don't even think of that. That's
you
a good
know,
point, yeah.
that's a real part of this.
Yes.
Now, the reason why it's scary though is because DVT, as it's known, deep vein thrombosis, which is weirdly fun to say for something that's not good for you. I was talking to a former NBA player who I mentioned before, and he was like, dude, that's a 6-month minimum injury. Minimum. And that gets you into, Greg, like training camp territory before you even get back to doing anything. And I was like, dog, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about a kid who's still developing not only his body, but his game. 6 months off randomly in the offseason is tough. Don't love that for them at all.
Yeah,
man.
No, that's you know, hopefully it's a relatively quick. I guess it's 6 months, but you know, as soon as he's ready to go to come back, because not only is he just otherworldly talented, as a friend of mine likes to say, if you dropped him in a game in like the 50s or 60s, he'd be accused of witchcraft.
Yeah, exactly. They chop him down and cut him into pieces. Yeah.
Right, like, but on top of that, just
the Iron Giant.
Just because he's hungry to play, like in a world where load management is such a thing, the fact that he wants to go out and play every single night is refreshing. It's something the league needs more of.
He was the most energetic in the All-Star game.
Right,
yeah,
most active
like,
of anybody.
For real.
Well, except for the skills competition.
Well, that was a different matter. Different matter. He got convinced by Chris Paul.
He came out and said it was his idea. I don't believe
Not
it.
buying
that
that
was no, that was Chris Paul the whole way.
Right, exactly. What else?
What's up, Foo?
All right, so Rob Manfred spoke a couple days ago, spring training, about the competitive balance in baseball, and Jeff Passan was on SportsCenter last night and had this to say, so take a listen to Passan.
The problem is, number one, we don't know that a salary cap would solve this. There are other capped leagues in sports, and those capped leagues, some of them do not have the parity that Major League Baseball does, but it's really the feeling of not being able to compete that is harming these teams and harming fan bases more than anything. And it's something that over the next couple years, as the collective bargaining agreement expires after the 2026 season, we're going to have to keep an eye on, because the future of baseball is going to depend on how they figure this out.
Are you in agreement here that the future of baseball is, depending on a salary cap or the collective bargaining agreement that's coming up here?
No. No. I think the future of baseball is dependent on other owners actually trying. I think that's what it is. And look, Clinton, I know you were there for the last game in Oakland.
Yeah.
I grew up as an A's fan. I did go to a game this past summer just to see him one last time in Oakland. And to watch what John Fisher did to systematically destruct that franchise.
Villain.
Only to turn around and start spending money, mostly to avoid a player association grievance, was frustrating. And I know right now the Dodgers are the poster team for this, and they're everybody's favorite villain because they're spending a ton of money. Let's not forget, we are not that far removed from the Dodgers having an ownership that hoarded money.
Yeah.
The Dodgers had an owner, and Greg, you remember the name Vladimir Spunt, don't you?
No, I actually don't remember that name.
At some point, the McCourts hired for 6 figures a year a man named Vladimir Spunt, who was a psychic that lived in Boston, and his job was to watch games and to send positive vibes to the team. That was his gig.
I did not know this.
That was part of what the McCourts spent money on, besides Jamie McCourt having a giant closet and getting her hair done, right? So the Dodgers now spend a lot of money, but they had an ownership at one point that was not trying to actively win games, and that's where teams like the A's and the Pirates, that's where those teams are right now.
Yeah, it's actually really surprising to me that sort of the intellectuals of baseball are even engaging this in good faith, because it's obviously this is a straw man. No. You know what I'm saying? What there needs to be is a floor that is tiered to the amount of losses you have over the course of a decade. So if you've been losing for a decade, your floor is higher than it is if you have only had a couple off years. That seems to be reasonable to me, because it says you have to spend a certain amount of money on your players. This is a requirement. It might seem a little un-American or whatever, but I don't care about that. Don't tell me that it's unfair that teams are spending money when they don't even have the highest payroll in the league. I don't even understand that. And so the Yanks and all these people coming out, I'm like, How does this even make sense? I'm not engaging this conversation.
The Yankees, by the way, crying poor is hilarious.
Insanity.
It's hilarious.
That's insanity.
That franchise is so raggedy right now.
That's exactly what they did in the late 90s to win 3 in a row.
That's historically what they have been known for.
But again, it's not just the money spending. You have to try, as Marcus said. You can't have psychics on the East Coast trying to channel vibes through games. You still got to scout the players. You still got to manage the team. You still have to win the baseball games. This idea that you just blow cash, throw it in the simulation, and it pops out commissioner's trophies is not real.
I mean, if that's the case, the Angels would actually have won something.
Oh, the Dodgers would have a lot more World Series rings.
Or how about Boston when they had Adrian Gonzalez and Carlos Crawford and Josh Beckett, or when the Padres when they had Juan Soto and Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis and didn't even make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. This logic contradicts itself. The call is coming from inside the house. If the Dodgers were so good at doing this, they would have had 10 rings by now.
What the Dodgers are doing is they are actually doing it from the ground up. Like, they have one of the best minor league systems in the game still, despite spending all of this money. They have one of the best, smartest front offices. It's top to bottom.
Yeah. Simple, too, by the way, why they have one of the great minor league systems. They feed their players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, you're big on the minor leaguers.
Oh, yeah. They don't make them pay for food. That you'd be stunned how much better that makes your baseball team when guys aren't hungry. You know? Anyway, what's next?
What's up, Foo?
All right, guys, so tonight we got the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game here. NHL's, alternative to their All-Star break. USA versus Canada, round 2 coming up. And it came out that before the first game, Americans apparently had a group text that said they were going to instigate the fight. So they knew that they were coming out swinging. They knew they were going to come take it to Canada. And there was a couple quotes in there that said they were trying to make hockey America's game now. So a couple questions here. Is there a chance that hockey can ever be America's game, or is this always, Canada's game or European game? And will you be watching, and how successful has this Four Nations, face-off tournament been?
No, it's never going to be America's game. I mean, it will be popular here. It is very popular already, but I don't think it's ever going to. I still think there's a big 3 sports in America, and hockey is number 4, and I think it will stay there. But obviously, what they have done has been very successful. Now, I'll admit, I have not watched a lot of it. In one of my text chains, I have a big hockey fan, and he's been very active about the whole thing. But it does seem like it has sparked some excitement and generated some electricity behind it. Obviously, having USA and Canada, and not to get political, the situation between the two countries ain't great right now, and so I think that has
that's one way to put it.
I think that has added some fuel to the fire behind this thing. I would say this. I know the one thing that a lot of the players have said, the one thing that's missing is Russia. Like, you've got U.S., Canada, Finland, Sweden, and a lot of the players have said if you add a Russian team, that I think even ups the ante a little bit more.
Speaking
here.
of situations,
right.
There's a reason why
exactly.
they're not there. So, are you watching this skate?
I may check in for a little bit of it. Like I said, I feel like an interloper because I haven't
if
really
somebody
much of
texts
it.
you and says it's tight in the third period, I'll turn it on. Okay.
I may turn it on early. Like have it on in the background, and then if it's actually tight in the third period, I'll lock it.
I'm locked in on this. I'm a huge hockey fan.
Okay.
Have been for years. And by for years, I mean decades, since I was a child. I'm an OG hockey fan as much as I am any other sport. In fact, I like hockey probably more than I even like football, to be honest. But anyway, so here's my thing. And I've felt this way for years. I know the conventional wisdom, and Berger, you might think I'm crazy on this. I hate fighting in hockey. Like, I've never liked
like true hockey fans don't like hiding.
And this is whoa. I'm a huge hockey fan, and I like the fights.
Okay, but why do you like fighting?
I mean, I like to see that they, go after it. I like seeing the fight.
The fighting in general had a place.
I like when the goalies go at it.
See, this is
rarely.
not hockey. This is not hockey. You want to see UFC on skates. That's what you want to see.
Hey, look, I think hockey's the hardest sport in all of sport. You have to learn to walk again to play.
Right, but here's the deal. In college hockey, you can't fight. In Olympic hockey, you can't fight. Like, it is literally ejection. Not, you get a couple minutes in the sin, but you get thrown out of the building if you fight. I feel that the problem with this situation with Four Nations is that because that started that way, which was reasonable, like there was emotion, but now you've created this image for the interlopers who are like, if I don't see a fight, I'm going to be upset. That's a problem. The whole point of this was try to grow the game for what the game is. And so I don't love how they got to it, but I do think this is going to be a fantastic skate tonight. I'm super looking forward.
But I know the NHL has really tried to curb a lot of that.
Yeah, there's
stuff,
not a ton of fights
right?
anymore. You know what I mean? There's not a ton of fights in the NHL anymore.
For me, as a kid growing up in California where we didn't really have hockey, like that's what we knew of hockey, you know? Like they drop the puck, they drop the gloves, and they go after it. Like,
NHL 94. That
was
more
it.
Of that.
Yep.
Anyway, is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got for you.
All right. On the other side, Laker talk. Mason in Ireland, Marcus and Clinton, ESPN Los Angeles.
The fun way to drive.
Are you the greatest Laker fan of all time? Enter to win, and you could be named the Lakers GOAT. That's right, GOAT. The winner will receive the ultimate fan package, including courtside seats, exclusive experiences, Lakers swag, and BBGO for a year. For all the contest information, visit LakersGFOAT.com.
Pain keeps you from doing what you love. Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Plan your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, official Native American resort and casino of the Los Angeles Lakers. See for yourself what made readers of Newsweek and USA Today name Pechanga the best casino outside of Las Vegas. Pechanga has world-class resort amenities, exceptional entertainment, dining, spa, and golf, and 24/7 gaming excitement. The immense casino floor and 1,100 rooms and suites makes Pechanga one of the largest in the country. Skip the traffic, head for Pechanga Resort Casino off the I-15 in Temecula. Visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for reservations.
Hey, it's Mace. As LA deals with tragedy, our friend Jacob Imrani has a special message for you.
Wildfires can leave lasting scars on our families, our homes, our communities, and our peace of mind. Navigating the recovery process is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Jacob Imrani, and my team and I are here to help ensure you're treated fairly and get the resources you need. Call us for a free consultation and let us help you rebuild with confidence.
Call Jacob.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
Mason and Ireland on LA's mega sports station.
I'm going to come out with something right here. I don't work as hard as John Ireland and have no interest in it.
Right now, more of Mason and Ireland on 710.
Mason in Ireland, Marcus Grant, Clinton Yates, filling in here on a Thursday, trying to get by. Yo, man, so we were talking about these crazy AI robots, and now there's a whole thing going on the thread, and I just watched this video of, and it says, in China, an AI robot malfunctioned and attacked people.
Yeah, Dead Meow sent it to me, and it is absolutely horrifying.
Like, what? I mean, I don't like the idea, too, that these people were close enough to think that this might happen as well. They were like, oh, no, come on back, buddy.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
There was a handler
Yeah.
that's like right there to pull the
Why
robot
are we doing
back.
this like this?
But why is there a handler to hold it back?
I don't like
you know
that
what I'm saying?
all.
Like, why do they need somebody like Sean McVay needs a holdback guy for a robot?
I just know that it feels like this AI was trained on like 1980s Sean Penn going after paparazzi or something like that. Like, it just very much has the feel of like somebody in the crowd said something and the robot took offense and is like, I'm coming for you, buddy.
Yikes.
By the way, I did tweet out the picture of the original AI robot they were talking about, and then someone sent me also that it looks like the robot from Westworld.
Yeah, it kind of does.
And
I've never seen Westworld.
And if that's the case, that show did not turn out well. The robots took over.
Yeah, I tapped out like midway through season 3. But
No, it was awful. There was nothing to see.
But no, it doesn't. It
after
has the
season
same look and feel as that, and you're right. All those robots turned out bad.
Turned bad. Tried
They're
to
all
take
bad.
over the actual world. It was a whole mess. Yeah.
All right, so we've been talking about the Lakers. They had a tough loss last night to the Hornets, which you just don't want on your schedule. I mean, you don't want the Hornets on your schedule. You don't want that loss on your schedule. They got the Blazers tonight. If they lose that, that'll be 3 in a row, which led us to the question about sort of where is Luka's head at regarding everything with this season. I mean, it was very obviously uprooting to get traded from Dallas to L.A., and Brian Windhorst, Greg, I don't know if you have this, Brian Windhorst, he made an interesting point about what the rest of this season in particular means for Luka being a Laker.
He just stumbled on to where the actual pressure is. I understand they got pressure because they got to play Denver this weekend or whatever. The pressure is on the organization between now and August 2nd to get Luka to sign that extension. That's where the pressure is, because Luka doesn't have his incentive to sign in L. He never said, I want to be a Laker. There's dozens of players over the years who make it crystal clear they want to be Lakers. Luka never said that. This hit him out of the blue. It cost him $100 million. He has got to see how they build this team around him and what they do in June and July for when August 2nd comes. The Lakers ain't winning a championship this year. Their big moment is whether or not Luka commits to the future so that they can properly try to do this again with a new face of the franchise.
Marcus, I think that's that middle point, and we revisited this earlier in the program, and I didn't say as much about it, but now that I'm thinking about it, he lost $100 million on this deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that alone.
But through no actions of his own.
Right. But what I'm saying is that there could be, I don't want to say resentment, that it could have the opposite effect. Like, the reason I'm here made me lose $100 million. Like, I can't stop thinking about that particular fact. You know what I mean? And
right.
and if you're thinking, well, I can go anywhere I want and I can test free agency, like, it's got to be perfect to perhaps overcome some level of resentment about the fact that you're there at all.
Yeah.
Human nature.
It is human nature. I'm not saying this doesn't play into it, but is the resentment, should it be toward the Lakers or should it be toward the Mavericks, who basically shipped you off and called you fat?
I don't think it's ever not going to be towards the Mavericks, but the point is that there's certainly no inherent love for the Lakers that they do not have to genuinely manufacture. It's not just, again, he didn't, to Windhorst's point, he never said anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what it's like. Sure, he said I don't know, he was friends with Kobe. Maybe if Kobe's around, it's a different deal or something to that effect. And I'm not trying to be weird or morbid, but like this, again, human nature comes into play here, because this is also not your typical basketball star. He's not an American. He doesn't need this sort of fulfilling of, I played for the Lakers. Like, that might not mean he played for Real.
Right.
Like, this dude knows what it's like to be part of a big-time squad, a big-time club, and do big-time things. It might not mean the same to him the way it would any other athlete, Greg.
I kind of feel like, though, I hear what you're saying. You're right. He is from Slovenia, but the Lakers are a worldwide brand. If there's any brand in the world that is big, it's the Lakers. The Lakers have that brand. So no matter where you're from, where you are, you still look fondly at the Lakers, especially because of Kobe.
I would say Real Madrid is a worldwide brand, too. What I'm saying is
not in basketball.
Okay, but again, it's a sporting club.
Sure,
My point is that you're right. As fans, it is. But I don't necessarily know how much that's going to translate to a global player in the same way if, for example, the team isn't good.
I mean, he could. Yeah, look, he's going to do whatever he wants. He's under contract for another year. Then he has a player option in 26, 27. So there's at least one more year for the Lakers to figure out what they want to do with him. at that point, it is like we talked about a little bit earlier. It's on Rob Pelinka to convince him at this point to say, okay, they tried with Mark Williams, they backed out of it. I think rightfully so at this point. And if they can go out, get a big, and build a team around him that's going to be good for the rest of the future, then I think he'll be okay. If you just screw everything up in this offseason, that could spell doom.
Well, Clinton, you brought up something in the first hour about the things you think the Lakers need to do.
Yeah.
And one of those things was figure out the plan of succession after LeBron. Or at least figure out what LeBron's
I would say during LeBron
situation
too.
is. Right? And so like that to me seems like maybe the thorniest part of this whole thing.
True.
Right? Because here it is, you've got a 25-year-old superstar who you have brought in to be the future of the franchise, but the guy who is the current face of the franchise and who doesn't really I don't know if we completely know where LeBron's head at is in terms of what he wants to do beyond this year, next year, but that feels like a really difficult conversation to navigate. But it is one, as you mentioned, that is incredibly important because if I'm Luka, I need to know, is this my team? When does it officially become my team? I need to know all these things before I decide to re-up for the long term.
And if you're the franchise, Greg, here's another element to this. If one is to believe that Clutch does have as much of a stranglehold on the franchise as they do, if they decide, if LeBron decides to leave, how much of the actual brain trust of the team is leaving to, like, how much of this actually involves what the worst case, not the worst case scenario, but what the imagined scenario even is.
But don't you think that this move to get Luka is actually taking the clutch of the team away?
Maybe, but if it's not, if LeBron leaves and all of the people that you had in place at the franchise who were arguably making you better because you had Clutch on your side.
Well, I don't know if they were making us better is the situation. I think that's a very debatable point.
That's fair.
What Clutch has done to the Lakers is not necessarily a good thing. So I think at this point, I think most Laker fans, or at least a good portion of it, wanted the Lakers to take back control from the LeBron Clutch hold.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to improve. And what I'm saying is that you're right. We don't know that it's made it better. But if you take away everybody that was already there and you're left with less anyway, it's a difficult sort of general rebuild. And I'll say this right now that I'm thinking about it. Rob Pelinka might have the hardest job in basketball right now. Like, straight up, in terms of what the 3 to 4 year plan is. Because if you can't re-sign Luka,
you'll have gone from having everything to having nothing.
If you can't re-sign Luka, that means you probably failed at the job.
That's a disaster. If Luka does not sign, the franchise goes in the tank for quite some time. Because this was the move to keep you relevant for the next 10 years.
This has to happen.
It has to work.
This is the move.
They've burned the boats.
You've quickened the rebuild period by bringing in Luka.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't stay, that's bad.
Could Luka pull sort of a Shohei in the sense of, Shohei has that deal where if Mark Walter, if Andrew Friedman leave, then Shohei's sort of free to go. Does Luka have that kind of juice to say, I need this person to be here, or I need this person here?
So. I don't know that Pelinka's that guy, though.
I'm not saying it's Pelinka, but is there somebody? Guy? Yeah, I mean, who's the guy?
Look to some of those dudes that the Mavs fired.
Nico Harrison, he comes over.
Nico's got to come back. We're bringing Nico back so we can fist fight every day at the facility. I mean, I'm just saying, I do think that it's easy for Laker fans to just say, oh, well, yeah, of course he's coming back. Like, why would he not? Well, there's a laundry list of reasons that are right there of things that could break down, and they're real. They're not just like haterade sort of speculation. It's a genuine issue that the Lakers, it's a position the team has never been in before because this has never happened this way before. It's not ridiculous. Not at all. Anyway, I hope he does resign. Great for business.
Great for here.
Great for here,
like,
for sure.
You're terrifying all of LA right now by saying he may not resign. And if he does not resign, that's bad.
Trailblazers tonight. Is Luka playing?
Nope.
He's out.
I thought he's out, right?
Yeah, he's out.
Alas. All right.
And LeBron, questionable.
Coming up, Marcus, you're on the blue ski?
I am.
Really?
I am.
How about that?
I'm over in the sky.
Mason Ireland, ESPN Los Angeles.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
I don't really understand why people get, like guys in particular, get arrested for peeing in public. I mean, everybody's dog walks around peeing everywhere. What's the difference?
Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Hey, everybody, it's John Ireland. We all like to discuss and debate who we think is the GOAT, right? But the real question is, who is the GOAT? That's right, the GOAT. ESPN LA and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. Just upload your pic or video to Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok and tell us your favorite Lakers memory. You must follow at ESPN Los Angeles and be sure to include 2 hashtags. Hashtag LakersGoat and hashtag promotion. And you can win some serious prizes like courtside seats, Lakers gear, a year's supply of my favorite, BBGO. BBGO's mouth-watering Korean snacks and meals are ready in minutes. My favorite is the juicy and flavorful steamed dumplings with the sticky white rice. So easy and so good. We're looking for the Lakers GOAT. Is it you?
Hey, guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement, and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergatt.com.
Looking for an exciting new job in the world of professional sports and entertainment? Legends Hospitality is conducting on-the-spot interviews this Saturday, February 22nd and Sunday, February 23rd from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at SoFi Stadium. We're looking for enthusiastic candidates for part-time positions in concessions, merchandise, culinary, and more, offering competitive wages and flexible schedules. Seeking valuable experiences or looking to boost your income? We have the perfect role for you. Enter the stadium at Pinkay Avenue and Barris Drive and check in at VIP Entry 11. Visit legends.net/careers for openings and applications.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Trav with DeMarco.
Only one all-star defense team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
Are you the greatest Laker fan of all time? Enter to win, and you could be named the Lakers GOAT. That's right, GOAT. The winner will receive the ultimate fan package, including courtside seats, exclusive experiences, Lakers swag, and BBGO for a year. For all the contest information, visit LakersGFOAT.com.
I'm Doug Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons.
And we want to buy your house.
After 30 years and more than 20,000 transactions, Sellers Advantage knows how to get you more for your home.
No agent fees, no commissions, just an as-is cash offer.
Call Sellers Advantage or visit sellersadvantage.com.
And BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. Now, are you the GOAT? If so, you could win the ultimate fan package, including courtside seats and a year's supply of BBGO. If this is you, go to LakersGoat.com, LakersGFOAT.com to learn how to submit your entry.
Mason in Ireland, Marcus Grant, Clinton Yates here. Bergie's hanging out, so is Brian, obviously. Yo, so we said this before the break. You've completely shifted all of your holdings, as the Corleone family would say,
yes,
to the Blue Sky.
I'm over at Blue Sky now. Yeah, you know what? It wasn't some big, come, some big lightning bolt moment or anything like that. It just was like, I think I got annoyed mostly by, trying to follow conversations, or you click on a tweet and then it's just like, it's a whole bunch of bots and ads and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't so much the politics thing. It was just like, I'm just tired of seeing all these AI generated responses, like just destroying the actual flow of the conversations. Yeah. That really did it for me. And so now, I don't really have the energy to do both of these apps at the same time.
Sure.
So the only time I go to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is if somebody sends me a link for it, but I don't actively go over there anymore.
I'm never getting off of the bird. It's just not happening. I realized I tried to sort of migrate my interests and investments. I have a Bluesky. I'll occasionally put things on there, but there's just no world in which I'm ever getting off Twitter. And I know that it's run by a person that a lot of people don't like. I understand that there's a lot of hateful stuff on there. But, the truth is, I have my job because of Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I've been around that long where it's not about the number of followers. It's this is where my online community actually was and is. So it's hard for me to sort of rebuild because you just don't have that kind of time. You know what I'm saying, Greg?
Yeah. You also do a lot of things that not many people do on Twitter.
Sure.
You have base running Twitter.
I have bits.
You have different types of Twitter that you go
Snack,
to.
grab, or stab. We're back this season, in case you're wondering.
No, yes, absolutely. But you said that the only reason you go to Twitter is because of if someone sends you a link.
Somebody sends me a link.
You sent me a Blue Sky link, and that's the only reason I went on to Blue Sky.
Yeah.
So it's the exact same thing.
Do you have a
time.
Bluesky account?
I have one.
I like saying Bluesky. I do
I like it better,
Bluesky.
to be honest.
They have Blacksky? Have you seen
There's Blacksky.
Well, how do we feel about black
like Black Twitter?
Yeah.
No, trust me, it's not Black Twitter.
It's not quite the same.
Right,
It's still,
I will give you this.
They're still trying to
snaps in a Z
grow
formation to let you know.
It hasn't really evolved quite this. But I mean, Black Twitter had over a decade to sort of grow itself.
I mean, the Black Twitter, you're not going to get a better social experience pretty much period in my life than what Black Twitter was. But do you feel that you are a happier human, or do you just feel where are you on this? Because I know that part of this for me also was getting off of social media as much in general.
Yeah, and this has been part of it, is that I don't do as much social media anymore. So maybe that is kind of the upside of it. It's different because there's a lot of people over there. People moved for all sorts of various reasons. And what I think the one thing I've learned is that part of what is irritating about the social media experience is the social part of it. It's the people, right? It's at some point you realize that it wasn't the app. It was you. It was It was the people there. But I'll say this: the sports community there is growing. All I know is if there was a national signing day, Mina Kimes is the greatest recruiter ever because she has brought a ton of folks over.
That was big.
The sports community is definitely growing. The NFL has not made the leap to Bluesky yet.
Have any of the teams and leagues done it?
So I know that the NBA has an account that I don't think they've posted from. MLB, I think, is on there. Some of the MLB teams are a little more active.
Huh.
I know that there were some kind of rogue NFL teams that originally started. They were posting there, and I think the league sort of put the kibosh on that because they actually have a deal with a partnership with X.
The bird, yeah.
So the league kind of stopped. But I know there were a few rogue NFL teams on there to the point where I followed them and I'm like, wait, is this really a team account or is this just a fan posting under the team name?
I think the other thing for me that made Bluesky, whatever you want to call it, hard is that I didn't, at this phase of my life, after whatever it is, 14 years on the bird, I don't need a replacement for Twitter. If I'm going to join another social media site, it's going to be a completely different thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I've had that experience, and it's
you're not going from Coke to Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Great line, by the way.
Thanks.
That's a promo level line. But what I'm saying is, and this is why I am now heavy on the talk game. Heavy on the talk.
Got into the talk for a minute.
I love the talk. TikTok.
My problem with, what frustrated me about at least creating content for TikTok is that when I would come up with an idea and shoot it and edit it and put graphics and do all this stuff, it would get no engagement. And then some just offhanded thing with me sitting on my couch saying something would just go berserk. And I'm like, what is happening here? The things that I actually put effort into went absolutely nowhere.
I think that's why it's cool, though. And not to get too granular with this, but I will. Instagram was first created for the purposes of visuals.
Mm-hmm.
That was what everybody was doing it for. It looked good. Twitter was first popular for the purposes of words.
Yeah.
You used words in ways that stacked up and you could sort of read everybody's thoughts. Talk combines both in a way that creatively really gets to me far better. And so when people get on there and you talk about like just random one-offs, there's an intimacy to what certain people do on TikTok that I think really is relatable. I think about like teachers in their classrooms, people doing jobs on site that I'd never have access to, and they can just sort of interact with you. And I'm not just talking about guys that are, power washing cars or whatever, which I happen to love to watch.
Some of those videos are actually kind of cool.
That's how I relax these days as a grown
Watch
man.
somebody just get rid of a whole yard
Sure,
for an hour.
yeah, that's great and all. But I'm saying also like where people have jobs that are in places that you're like, I would never be able to see what this looks like. There's a lot more of that happening on TikTok than it is people that are on other sites that are like, oh my God, look how much cooler my life is than yours. Or you're a dummy. You're a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Sit down and be quiet.
I never really got into Instagram. I mean, I did it for a little while. I think my thing with Instagram is that it feels like performance art.
Okay.
Right? It's a lot of people trying to like convince you all the time that they're living their best life.
There's a lot of that on the gram.
A lot of that on the gram. And so that kind of turned me off a little bit. The one thing that I always felt like the Bird and by extension Blue Sky had over the other apps is that it was the one that allowed for actual conversation.
Right.
Because TikTok
the functionality of the actual
right.
site.
Like TikTok is still a one way. It's still me talking at you. And like, yeah, you can go in the comments and stuff if you want.
Yeah, a little
but
bit.
it's not quite the same level of conversation. And I'm not sitting here saying that Twitter conversation was always useful or efficient or effective, but you could at least have a back and forth with somebody.
This is true. This is true.
That's
I mean, I don't know. I think that the growth of what different social media sites is, there's different usages for every single one. You know what I mean? And each one trying to act like they are the other was where the problem started.
Yeah, that's true.
Threads, get out of here. I don't need that.
Not doing that.
You know what I'm saying?
Not
and
doing
so
that.
the various utilities of them are very different. Bergie, where are you? Are you on TikTok?
So I have
you
one.
dabbled?
I have one video of me on TikTok from like 3 years ago, whenever it first came out, and I just go in there every once in a while and I scroll to fall asleep, and that's it. It's just a scrolling sensation for me.
You know what happened to me the other day? When Carlo and I went to that USC-UCLA game, we were shooting our content and stuff, and I ran into somebody whose content I follow on TikTok. And I said, hey, a woman named Haley. She writes for the LA Daily News. She covers a lot of high school sports and women's sports. She's really good. I said, hey, how are you? Haley, you work. I said, I introduced myself. And she said to me, for the first time in my life, she goes, oh, yeah, Clinton from TikTok. I was like, what? I was like, I mean, I got a couple videos up, but I don't have any sort of native. I have maybe 2 native things. Most of them are just videos from other places that I put on the talk. I was floored. I didn't even know how to react. I was like, and I'm in a weird, and Carlo started laughing, and I was like, man, that was the strangest interaction I've had in a long time. I felt like a jerk, but what are you gonna do? TikTok.
I do love the TikTok I feel like it was an extension of Vine. Remember Vine?
Yes, that's why I like it.
Vine was fun.
Vine was wild fun.
Vine was way fun.
Vine was great.
Yeah,
it was amazing how much people could do. In
6 seconds. 6 seconds. That was it.
Amazing.
That's all you had.
TikTok. Anyway, we're gonna do more of those. You want to talk some more Dodgers next?
Sure.
Greg?
Sure.
Doyers on the other side. ESPN 710. Mason and Ireland. Marcus and Clinton.
LeBron.
Here's LeBron down the middle with a thunder dunk.
Luka.
This for me is a fresh start. I get to play in LA. The fans are amazing. I got the ocean here, so it's a really big thing for me.
Lake Show. Let's go.
I getting to play for the Lakers, and everybody can say that. And many, many legends pass here, many championships. So that's my goal.
This is the home of LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers. The ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. We ask that you kindly not be that guy, and instead simply go to Verizon and trade in any phone from their top brands in any condition on any unlimited plan for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 with Galaxy AI.
With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Orthodontics are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. This can be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, a youngster who brightens your day. Tell us who's smiling and you could win some awesome prizes like sweet tickets from ESPN LA, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, and a grand prize of Invisalign from Beverly Hills Ortho. Enter now at ESPNLA.com and remember you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
ESPN LA and BBGO are going on a quest for the Lakers GOAT. No, not the GOAT. The GOAT. The greatest Lakers fan of all time. Think it's you? Upload your pic or video to Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok, and tell us your favorite Lakers memory. Use hashtag LakersGoFoat, GFOAT, and hashtag promotion, and follow at ESPN Los Angeles. The Lakers GOAT is going to be rewarded with courtside seats, a VIP private tour of the Lakers UCLA Health Training Center, a year's supply of BBGO, and more. The Lakers GOAT. Is it you?
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Thinking about selling your home? Seller's Advantage makes it easy. No agents, no commissions, no open houses, and no costly repairs. With Seller's Advantage, they'll make you a competitive cash offer with no surprises. Check out what one of their sellers had to say. Quote, Seller's Advantage was a lot easier, faster, and more rewarding than listing my house. I worried about getting a low offer, but theirs matched the value I was hoping for and was much higher than the competitors. They gave me time to decide, and the process was friendly, fast, and anxiety-free. I highly recommend Seller's Advantage. Call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS. Works out to 888-390-2747. Or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free, no obligation cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Mason in Ireland on 710.
I've got to be honest. I have no idea how you do it.
I'm not sure how I do it.
would not. Would not be my scene.
More of Mason in Ireland right now.
ESPN LA, the Lakers, and BBGO are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. Enter by telling us your favorite Lakers memory and posting to social media. You must follow ESPN Los Angeles at ESPN Los Angeles and must hashtag at Lakers GOAT and at promotion. I know that's a lot, kiddos. All of these directions are on LakersGoFoat.com. That's LakersGFOAT.com. All right. Some of you know that this is not my only job. I am known in the streets as Television's Clinton Yates. I was just on television today.
Clinton Yates from TikTok.
Well, there's that too. There's that too. And I'm on a show called Around the Horn. And guess what? I won. And guess what I said? Let's listen right now. Today in baseball, they are implementing the ABS system in spring training to try to, evaluate how they do balls and strikes. Here's the point. If you tear away at the fabric of the game by messing up the catcher position, you have ruined the whole fun part. Human nature and umpires are why the game is what it is. I do not want AI controlling ball games. Stop it. Unnecessary.
Oh, I had a panel yesterday that was all in favor. You're against it.
Absolutely not.
I want AI doing this show.
It's a good line out of Frank Isola leaving the show, by the way. But this brings up a topic, which is that the ABS system starts in earnest this spring training, Marcus. Mm-hmm. And the idea is if a player wants to challenge a ball or a strike call, they can simply tap their helmet or whatever the signal is. I think you get, 2 a game or whatever it is, and you can keep them if you win them and da-da-da-da-da. Let me explain something to you. I hate this with every fiber of my core. I hate it theoretically, I hate it in practice, and I hate it in spirit as well. I do not need this at all. And furthermore, This is the part that actually makes me most mad, Bergie. Whenever we decided that the accuracy of the K-zone was the most important thing in the history of baseball to the point that we had to just start banging out robots and do it, I'm like, what? Like, this is part of the game. I get it. There's been some big spots where things have gone wrong. There's some obvious examples. But the clear solution to bad umpiring is better umpires, not AI. This drives me nuts. These dorks who seem to tell me, well, if we were starting baseball over and building it from the beginning, we wouldn't have humans calling balls and strikes.
Why not?
What? What are we, tech bros?
What, Marcus, you don't like the robot umps?
I do not.
Oh,
I hate the idea. I hate the application. I hate what it could turn into. Robot umps are not the solution to anything but to weirdos who think we live in a simulation and aren't humans actually playing a sport.
I am only grudgingly accepting the existence of instant replay in sport.
Oh, I don't
like
want
that to me is like I stopped arguing it the way I stopped arguing that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Like some point,
yeah, the wave was too strong.
At some point, I just had to let it go. But no, I still believe the game is enjoyed by humans. It is played by humans. Why should it not be officiated by humans? Like, why not?
This guy just really wrote me, Greg. He says, human error causes more fan frustration than anything. It makes the game gray. If you remove human error, it makes the game cleaner, more black and white.
No, it doesn't.
My guy!
It does not.
The gray is the fun part.
I don't disagree with that.
No, you don't.
It is.
Yes,
you
I
do.
do. Yes, I do.
Greg.
You can't tell me what I
you.
agree and disagree with.
No, because what I'm saying is this. It has not been applied in ways yet that have gone too far. And once it goes too far and you can't get it back, you're going to realize, damn, this sucks. That's the issue.
All I know is that if I see, like when Justin Turner was here, right? He's standing there, he's up close on the plate, and an outside strike, outside ball is called consistently a strike because he's closer on the, and in this umpire's zone is different from this umpire's zone, and it's so crazy. And let's say it's the bottom of the ninth, and you have bases loaded, down by 3. It's a 3-2 count, and some umpire decides a ball that's in the dirt is a strike. It's nonsense. You can't even argue it.
Yes, you can.
No, well, yeah, but you get kicked out. He's not going to change it. You can't go to instant replay, which I would not want anyway. It's nonsense.
Like,
it's
I
nonsense.
would remove the K zone from off the screen
That
watching games.
Is maybe the biggest issue.
That was the start of this problem.
That's the biggest issue is having the K
People who are
zone.
obsessed.
I'm
it's got to be exact.
fully on board with robot umps.
Go back,
Go
back and watch a game from the 80s before there was a K zone, and there are a lot of pitches that are borderline that you're like, oh yeah, I can get down with that because there's no box there that tells you that it is or is not a strike.
It's not the borderline pitches. It's the ones that are like 6 inches, 8 inches,
So
9 inches
what?
off the plate. It's 9 inches off the plate, Clinton.
Again,
it's ridiculous that you even think that is a strike.
Okay, but again, you haven't answered my
nonsense.
question. So actual what? You know what I'm saying?
It changes everything. A ball. If there's a ball 9 inches off the plate,
you're using one example of one pitch.
No, it happens more often than just one time. But even if it's like 4 inches off the plate, who cares? Whatever the number that you feel comfortable with, that number. It changed it. If you're in 1-0 opposed to 0-1 is two separate things. How you approach an at bat, and if it happens twice, and now you're down 0-2, and you have to swing away, and it ruins the whole at bat.
To me, that's what the game is. That's why you play the game.
We watch them to get.
There's
hits.
a separate discussion.
We watch to get strikeouts.
There's a separate discussion to be had here. That's more about the youth level of the game, and I think how this kind of imprints on that, which is sort of a larger thing. For me, what baseball really is a game that you play to sort of understand and learn the process of failure, the process of teamwork, the process of repetition, and how that sort of makes you a better person and player. And when we psychologically exact ourselves to only the purposes of rules, it kind of changes the entire nature of why anybody does it. Like, I don't need to solve for perfection in most places in my life. I just don't. That's not how I envision being an alive human who enjoys other humans.
And I think you saying perfection, that was the thing. That's the thing that I get at here, is that it is an imperfect game played by imperfect people. To expect
as we live on an imperfect globe,
to expect perfection out of it, I think it's unreasonable.
It turns it into something it's genuinely not for me, Greg. And the other part about that I was saying on the human factor is that when you grow up and you play ball at certain levels as you go up, like who the umpires are as people and how they sort of teach the game whilst also being a part of the game, whilst not being entirely in it when you're a player on the field is important, man. It is a vital part to the development of youth ball is how you are able to interact with umpires, which is why you see so many umpires dealing with parents who want everything to be perfect by saying, I'm out of here. This is not what it's about. And there's
the umpire
a huge
isn't
part
going
of
anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're still going to be behind the plate. They still have to
It
call
changes the
plays at
nature
the
of
plate.
the relationship with what the catcher is doing and what you can. It changes too much, too quickly to overcompensate for a couple of bad umpires. Get better umps.
Okay, fine, get better umps, but they're in a union. Angel Hernandez was in this league for 25 years, and he was awful.
It is a more worthy and
Cowboy
necessary
Joe West
cause.
was awful.
It is a more worthy and necessary cause to get better humans than it is to have AI and robots take over human jobs.
I would also say that
Personally.
I think when you look at the average of umpires, their success rate or the rate of being correct is still in the mid to high 90%. That's damn good.
It's the consistency portion of it. Well, yeah, but
here's the thing. I'll take consistency.
It's like 90%.
It's consistently 93%.
Right, but at least here's the thing. I will
lower.
take you calling it 3 inches off the plate as long as you're always calling it 3 inches off the plate. If I know that, then I make my adjustment when I go to the plate.
I think that's part of the problem, though. They're not consistently calling it 3 inches off the plate. If that's the case, I totally agree with you. If it was consistently the same call from that umpire, totally with you. But it's not. It'll be 3 inches off the plate. It'll be 3 inches high. Then it's going to be 3 inches low, and then it's going to be over there. They're all over the place.
That's fine by me.
It's not.
That's what I'm saying is that this is part of the
game
reason.
has evolved too much to be able to do that.
I think
gambling has evolved.
Yes,
too, that's what it is.
This is what I'm
Gambling
saying,
has
man.
evolved.
I don't gamble.
If
but
you
still.
want everything to be exact to the specifications of a computer, play a video game.
So it's not about, and again, it's not about those borderline calls, the ones that are on the line or just off of it. That totally understandable. It's the egregious ones.
That's
there's,
fair.
There's so many egregious ones, and that egregious ones move all around the
Are there
place.
so many egregious ones, or has the K zone made us rethink that?
Thank you. We have been trained to believe that the perfection of the strike zone is more important to the fabric of the game than it actually is. That is my genuine belief. Because here's the deal, is that once you get too far down this road and everybody has accustomed themselves to the idea that it has to be exact for anybody to think that it's real, that's a problem for me. And it changes the nature of how you play the position as a catcher. It changes the nature of how you scout the position as a catcher. And it changes the entire nature of the game through something that is earnestly, to me, not that important. I'm only really yelling because I was yelling on TV. I'm not that mad about it.
I know, I'm not really mad about it either.
What I'm saying
but, you know.
is, for me, I just don't like the mentality behind it. I don't need it to be that exact to enjoy it. In fact, the reason why I enjoy it is because it's not that exact. That's why I like baseball.
So shocked by you, Marcus. I really thought you were on my side.
I've always
on
been a
that one.
human error guy for
Really?
most everything. Yeah, I really do. I just think part of the fun of why we watch and why we do this is in the arguing, right? It is in the
Yes.
what if this had happened, what if this didn't happen. I think that's part of why we do this.
And for all the Andres Galarraga situations, like whatever, he got the no-hit stolen from, I get it. That happens. But you're telling me that overcorrecting an entire system so that you screw up the entire relationship between the battery because a couple of guys have Twitter websites that point out every single pitch that an umpire gets wrong, that is a wild overcorrection to me. By a lot.
You go look at those websites like Ump Show and all those
yeah.
other ones because you're watching the game like, God, this is awful. Let me go look and see how bad it
Sucks to
was.
suck.
And then you see how bad it was, and you go, God, it's confirmed. It's confirmation bias, I'm sure. But still.
I'm sitting here watching this Dodger game, though. and there's no K zone up, right?
This is why I love college baseball. They don't have K zones on the daggone screen all the time. Guys are just playing because they like playing baseball. Bing! They don't need to be right all the time.
That part, too.
Anyway, coming up. Whose game is it?
It's me.
Oh, it's you.
Yep.
All right. Game of games time. Coming up next. Mason, Ireland. Marcus and Clinton. ESPN Los Angeles.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
I've never done my hands. Should I do my hands?
That's the thing. I get the petty all the time because of my feet. I haven't got the mani yet.
Nor have I.
I just can't sit there
You
and
gonna
let
take the
somebody do
plunge
that.
today?
I might do that maybe today.
Nice.
Get little
Marco.
daisies put on your fingernails.
I feel so awkward. I'm sitting there and somebody's doing my nails.
It's Trav and D-Far. Back tomorrow after Clinton and Friends.
On LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Are you the greatest Laker fan of all time? Enter to win, and you could be named the Lakers GOAT. That's right, GOAT. The winner will receive the ultimate fan package, including courtside seats, exclusive experiences, Lakers swag, and BB Go for a year. For all the contest information, visit LakersGFOAT.com.
Candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours, which offer an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic award shows. Guests will also explore the venue's VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. For more info, visit cryptoarena.com/tours.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, it's time for Game of Games. It's Marcus's game. There might be a read, but it's not in front of me, so you're going to have to find out.
All right, we'll figure that out.
Let's get it right.
In the meantime, today is Rihanna's birthday.
Oh!
Riri. Happy 37th to Riri.
That's right.
So in honor of her completing another
birthday in
trip
that household.
around the sun, all today's questions are about one Miss Robin Rihanna Fenty.
Okay.
All right. Are there any Rihanna super fans here in this group? I don't know.
I wouldn't call myself a super fan, but I have been a fan since I've been introduced to her work.
Do you need me to keep track?
Sure,
Marcus?
please,
Okay,
if you don't mind.
I'll run it for you. You ask the questions, I'll say who goes.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
All right. The first one, very simple. How many studio albums has Rihanna released? Multiple choice. 6, 7, 8, or 10?
Clinton.
6.
Brian.
10.
DeAndre.
7.
I'm going to say 7 also.
The answer is 8.
8?
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Nobody.
So we went over there. All right.
Non-super fans.
There it is. Next. Rihanna was originally signed to Def Jam Records after one of her demo tapes was circulated among the executives. After an audition, she waited in the Def Jam offices until 3 a.m. while lawyers drew up a contract. Which rapper ultimately closed the deal? Was it LL Cool J, Ja Rule, Jay-Z, or DMX?
Brian.
DMX.
DeAndre.
Ja Rule.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Ja Rule.
It was 100% Jay-Z.
It was Jay-Z.
No.
Yep, it was Sean Carter. All right, next one. Rihanna won her first Grammy for which song? Was it Pon de Replay, Umbrella, SOS, or Don't Stop the Music?
DeAndre.
I'm going Umbrella.
I'm going to say Pon de Replay. Clinton.
I think it's SOS.
Brian.
I like Umbrella.
It is Umbrella.
Okay. I thought that might have been a little too obvious because that's,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
thought too. So Brian and DeAndre got that one. Clinton won, Brian won, DeAndre won. I have nothing.
All right. Let's see. Next question. Rihanna leads all artists with 13 #1 songs on the Billboard Radio Songs chart. Which artist is second? Is it Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Bruno Mars, or Taylor Swift?
God, Taylor Swift seems so obvious, no? I'm going Swift. Clinton.
I go Bruno every time because, as you all know, my cousin is in Bruno Mars's band. So I guess him whenever I can.
Brian.
Mariah Carey.
DeAndre.
Beyonce.
It is Mariah Carey.
Oh, that's an upset.
Was that you, Brian?
That was me.
I did not think that was good. I thought definitively that was not the answer.
All right. Well, speaking of Mariah Carey, Riri has named Mariah as one of her musical influences. Not a big surprise. Which Mariah Carey song did Rihanna once perform as a teenager at her high school talent show? Was it Vision of Love, I'll Be There, Fantasy, or Hero?
Clinton.
This has to be fantasy, right?
Brian.
I'll take Hero.
DeAndre.
I'll take Hero as well.
I'll say I'll Be There.
It was Hero. Brian's on this one.
Brian, did you get that too, DeAndre?
I did, yeah. I got that one, yeah.
Dang.
Jeez, Brian 3,
I just feel
DeAndre
like fantasy
2,
was like
Clinton 1,
a bigger song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At that time.
I don't know. Brian's crushing though right now.
Jeez.
All right. Let's see. Question 6.
How many do you have?
I have 10 plus a tiebreaker.
Okay. All right. So not yet for Brian to go first.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, he's going first anyway.
Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl 59 halftime show has been reported as the most watched in history with 133.5 million viewers. Rihanna temporarily held the record after performing at Super Bowl 57 in 2023. How many people watched that performance? Was it 115 million, 121 million, 127 million, or 132 million?
Brian.
127.
DeAndre.
What was the second one?
121.
Let's go with that one, 121.
I'm going to go with Brian, 127. Clinton.
I'll say 121, picking a number out of a hat.
It's 121.
Score.
DeAndre, you got that too?
One was I figured that was purely a guess, right? That's all that was.
Complete guesser.
I got to go opposite of DeAndre and Brian or I'm out. So.
All right. All right. So in addition to music, Rihanna has been very successful in the beauty and fashion industries. One of her early fashion ventures was as the creative director for which shoe brand? Adidas, Nike, Puma, or Reebok?
DeAndre.
I'm going Adidas.
Let's go Puma. I can get the Bergman here. Clinton.
Think Puma?
Brian.
I'm trying to actually use my actual brain here.
Kind of like Puma as well.
It is Puma.
Oh, I didn't get the Bergman.
I was like, I feel like I remember that.
You did not
Okay,
get the Bergman.
I am now. There's 2 left, right?
3.
3. Okay.
Two in a tiebreaker?
3 in a tiebreaker.
3 in a
3 in a
tiebreaker.
tiebreaker. Okay,
Three
so
in a
Brian,
tiebreaker.
you're in the lead now with 4, so you got to go first. So Brian has 4, Clinton 3, DeAndre 3, I have 1.
Okay. Let's see. So Rihanna and A$AP Rocky have 2 children together. Their youngest son is named Riot Rose. Which member of the Wu-Tang Clan is their oldest son named after? RZA, Jizza, Raekwon, or Old Dirty Bastard?
And Brian.
Go RZA.
DeAndre.
Raekwon. Yeah. Raekwon.
Yeah, I'll go with the chef as well.
I'm going to say RZA.
It is the RZA.
Hey, I'm still alive. Still alive.
Wow. Okay.
You didn't get that one, right, Brian?
I got that one.
No,
No,
Brian,
I
I
agree
He's
with
like,
you.
listen, hot shot. You're
Honestly-
under his umbrella.
All right, I'm out. I screwed up by not going against Brian, but I'm out.
All
Okay.
right.
All
All right. So we got 2 in a tiebreaker.
So you
left.
both have to go opposite of what Brian does.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. Rihanna made her acting debut in 2006 in the straight-to-DVD movie Bring It On, All or Nothing. In 2025, she'll provide a voice for a character in this movie based on a popular cartoon. Is it Smurfs, the Powerpuff Girls, Scooby-Doo, or SpongeBob SquarePants?
Brian.
Powerpuff Girls.
Dang it.
Let's go Clinton.
I'll say Smurfs. I was going to guess that, though.
Yeah, DeAndre.
I was going to go with Smurfs as well.
It's a good thing you went Smurfs because that's
Okay.
what it
All
is.
right.
All right, one back. You still got to go first
Got a
here, Brian.
chance.
All right, so here's the last one unless we need a tiebreaker. So here we go. As of 2024, where did Rihanna rank among the wealthiest musicians in the world? Was she second, third, fifth or seventh?
Brian?
Let's go fifth.
Let's go Clinton this time.
She's a billionaire. I'll say fourth.
And
Wait, no.
Is it third?
Second, third, fifth, seventh.
Third, then. Yeah.
DeAndre.
I was going to go third as well.
It is third.
We're all tied up. Three-way tie. Three-way tie.
Let's go.
Got a three-way tie. All right.
Tiebreaker time. You got something to write with? You got to everybody write something down.
You need a pen? You got a pen?
I got a pen.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. According to Forbes magazine, what is Rihanna's net worth?
Oh, dang it. I just got through saying this.
So put down a number and closest. Let's tell me when you got something, Brian.
I have something.
Clinton has something. DeAndre, you got something?
yeah.
Okay, Brian, what do you got?
$1 billion.
$1 billion. And what about Clinton?
1.5 billion.
1.5. And DeAndre?
I said 500 mil.
500 mil. The answer?
$1.4 billion.
Wow.
Clinton gets the W.
See why? Coming from behind.
2 W's,
That was a
one
clipper,
day,
right?
one on TV, one on the radio. I'm leaving. Forget crosstalk. I love it.
All right, let's go to Super Crosstalk.
Hey, everybody, it's John Ireland. We all like to discuss and debate who we think is the GOAT, right? But the real question is, who is the GOAT? That's right, the GOAT. ESPN are teaming up to find the Lakers GOAT, the greatest fan of all time. Just upload your pic or video to Facebook, Instagram, X, or TikTok and tell us your favorite Lakers memory. You must follow at ESPN Los Angeles and be sure to include 2 hashtags. Hashtag LakersGoat and hashtag promotion. And you can win some serious prizes like courtside seats, Lakers gear, a year's supply of my favorite, BBGO. BBGO's mouth-watering Korean snacks and meals are ready in minutes. My favorite is the juicy and flavorful steamed dumplings with the sticky white rice. So easy and so good. We're looking for the Lakers GOAT. Is it you?
Are you in the hunt for an exciting new job in the world of professional sports and entertainment? Legends Hospitality is thrilled to announce our hiring fair this Saturday, February 22nd and Sunday, February 23rd from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at SoFi Stadium. We're looking for enthusiastic candidates for part-time positions in catering, concessions, merchandise, culinary, and more. Enjoy competitive wages and a flexible schedule. Whether you're seeking valuable experience or looking to boost your income, we have a role that's perfect for you. We'll be conducting on-the-spot interviews, so come ready to impress. To enter the stadium, please use Pinkay Avenue and Barris Drive and park in Lot E, where you can check in at VIP Entry 11. Don't forget to visit legends.net/careers to explore our current openings and apply now. That's legends.net/careers. Don't miss this incredible opportunity. Your future starts here.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Woo, 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 woo. What's going on, Cappy?
Marcus, first of all, huge fan of yours, as you know. But I feel like today, did I catch some strays along the way today?
You may have caught a stray. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was. But I don't think it was actually during our show. I think it might have been crosstalk with AK and DeMarco. It might have been. Yes.
Right. What happened exactly?
Basically, I think they were accusing you of stirring the pot and getting George to I guess claim superiority over DeMarco when it comes to their career successes.
Yeah, I don't actually remember how that came up. I'm one of these people that when I get off the air, I forget everything that just happened.
Oh, I get that.
You know,
I understand.
It's kind of like just trashing everything on your computer and just be like, just get rid of it. So I don't know. I don't remember what happened. Something happened on the air where George said that his resume far outweighs DeMarco's resume.
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
God, you're such an idiot. Why
am I an idiot?
Because you always say things that aren't true.
Well, okay, hold on a second, tough guy. You ready? Did you or did you not say that
No.
your resume far outweighs DeMarco?
I said DeMarco is a world champion, Super Bowl champion football player.
I don't
When it
remember
comes
that.
to anything football,
Yeah.
he's got me. I'm not even in like Pee Wee League compared
Okay.
to him.
All right, I remember
And
this
I
part.
said, as a broadcaster,
Right.
I'll stack up my resume against him or anyone's, is what I said.
That's not what you said. You said
I said I'm
far as outweighs.
I'm the Super Bowl champion in the broadcasting world.
Boy, oh boy, are you really? Well, I'll tell you something. DeMarco took offense to that.
Okay.
DeMarco definitely took offense. And by the way,
He can't-
apparently
true,
said
though.
his resume is something.
Well, you
that
know
should
why he
examine.
probably took offense to it? Because a jackass like you or someone else played telephone and actually didn't say the thing that I actually said.
Actually,
So I guess
that's
it's a
not
promo,
even close.
George. There's a promo with
Yeah.
this conversation.
Well, that's even worse because it's probably has zero context to what I actually said. I bet you doesn't have the part about the Super Bowl champion part about him.
I don't know. Can we find it? I think Brian.
So
might be trying to-
I think I got something here. Let's see. I don't know if this is right.
Let's hear it.
Sedano and Cap.
Today at 3 p.m. after Mason and Ireland.
I just think in this arena, as accomplished as DeMarco is in his, I would say I'm the more accomplished one.
Oh, really?
That's not being disrespectful. I think that's just being honest.
I don't know. I mean, I think DeMarco's going to come in tomorrow with his resume and say, put it down. Be
I love
interesting.
DeMarco. We can compare resumes.
Okay, I think we should do it.
In the NFL, he's got me. I mean, I have no chance.
Okay.
I'm literally a peasant compared to the king.
But in broadcasting,
I got him there.
like by what score? What's the final score?
Kind of like when he was on the Greatest Show on Turf. It's kind of like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like a Super Bowl of this year's situation. Like,
Well, I don't know if I go that far.
Wow.
You're the Eagles and he's the Chiefs.
I mean,
in
it's
that
over at
situation.
halftime? Like the whole thing?
No, not over at halftime.
No?
He gets into the third quarter.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
Does he?
yeah.
Okay.
First play of the third quarter.
The LA afternoon.
Oh, that's not disrespectful at all.
Not-
That's
no.
absolutely fair.
And in
That's
context.
a fair assessment of what I said.
In context, see? So, and by the way, I didn't call him. I didn't say anything to him. Apparently, he heard the promo. And then what I heard thereafter was that DeMarco took exception. But more importantly, and this is what I'm pissed about, I got blamed for it all. What did I do?
apparently,
you actually did stoke the flames.
That's,
on
uh,
it.
Okay,
you were stirring
remind
the
me how
pot.
I did that. How did I do that? What did I do? I don't
said-
remember.
You brought up. I don't remember specifically, but the only reason I'm not volunteering that information unless you're asking me.
I am asking you.
No, I'm saying that when I said what I said,
I thought you
it's
meant
because
right
because we were talking about DeMarco and Beto, and I said, yeah, Beto's crazy, like whatever. I would never do what Beto did, and I said. And then you said, I said something, or you asked me, you're like, well, what about you and DeMarco? I said, well, DeMarco's got me as a football player. I don't think there's any question or anything revolving around football. He's the king. I'm the peasant. And then, so yeah, you asked me that. That was,
But then
I would
you-
have not
but then you-
have-
then you
I would not have
offered-
brought that up out of nowhere.
Right, but then you offered that your broadcast career
Yes.
is a 100-0 versus
No, I did
his.
not say it that
What
way.
did you
As,
say?
as a matter of
What
fact,
did
at
you say?
all. If you actually listen to what just played, that's not
didn't
what
hear
I
it.
said.
No, what did you say?
Yeah. I said that I've got him is what I said.
And I will say this, George, though, because like DeMarco started listing off his resume,
Yeah,
and I
think
feel
you may have
like
missed a couple things.
I feel like it. This game might not. It may go into the fourth quarter a little bit. It might.
Okay,
not be
fourth
a
quarter's
halftime.
fine. I still got him. I don't think there's any question about that.
Okay.
Well,
And
actually,
that's
there
not,
is a
and that's
question.
not again, that's not being disrespectful. While I have been only a broadcaster for 20 plus years now. You know what I'm saying? So like this is almost 25 actually, now that I think about it. So it's not like that's like some disrespectful comment towards him.
No, but he thinks otherwise. So when you say that there's no question,
Well,
he
I
actually has a
also
question.
I also question whether he actually believes that or you're just saying that.
No, I'm not saying anything. I got an email earlier today of DeMarco kind of going off about this whole situation. Now, we've learned, I think, George, here recently, that when he starts to get mad, you better back up, sucker. Okay? And so
I have no issues with him, but I would say, by the way, I would put my resume against anybody's here, period, is what I said yesterday.
Okay. And
you just happened to single out DeMarco because he's a Super Bowl champion. That's how this whole thing got started.
I don't know. Here's what I do.
Oh, no. I
Here's
know
what I
exactly how it
No,
started.
you don't, because I asked you earlier and you said
Well,
you don't
now it
remember.
just dawned on me how it started.
Well, let me just say this. I have zero, and I mean zero, recollection of how this all went down on the air, how it all started.
Yeah.
I have zero recollection.
Yeah, of course you don't, because
Now-
you always started. You think
Well-
I'm literally volunteering? First of all, Greg Bergman is there, right?
Yes, I am.
Greg Bergman, you've known me for for over 20 years now, I believe, or
Right.
close to it.
Yes. Since at least 2006.
I'm a cocky son of a bitch. Like, there's no question about that.
No.
But
I mean, I can't even say it's an understatement.
But
because
I
you're
am
over.
not. I am not volunteering that information out of nowhere.
No, you do not. You don't just randomly say,
I
I'm better
don't
at
just
radio
walk
than
around
DeMarco.
saying like, yeah, I'm better than anyone. Like, I have never ever actually said that. Now, if you ask me, I'm going to answer you honestly. And I've always said that for good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to tell you how I feel. But I don't just go out there volunteering anything, for that matter. It's usually you trying to, rip it out of my cold, dead hands.
All I want to know is this: is if we were
So I'm
to go
glad they're
back-
blaming you, because it is your fault.
Right, but if we go back to Tuesday, because this is when this happened, I would love to know what sparked this.
You!
and then to know
You
for sure.
were talking about Beto and DeMarco, and then you asked me how that would go if it were me, and then I said, that's exactly how it went.
Wait,
and then I
hold on.
said,
Was this
What?
the conversation you and I were having about how when I was complaining that the NBA players and the NBA analysts were ripping the NBA's all-star product, I made the comparison. I said, now, wait a second. If I came on to ESPN 710 and I said, like, Mason and Ireland
no,
are
Cap,
old
that
and
was
they're
not
boring.
the conversation.
That was not.
We had that conversation yesterday, not Tuesday.
Oh,
okay?
really? See, I told you I forget all this stuff.
Correct. We had this conversation Tuesday was about Beto, and I said Beto's crazy. I wouldn't screw with DeMarco. And
what did I
then
say to stoke this?
And then you said,
"Tell me."
You said, "Oh, how about you versus him?" And I do I have to say this for the fourth time in the last 5 minutes?
Because I don't think any of us really know that what you're saying is accurate. That's the problem. We need the
Pull
audio
it from
tape.
the podcast.
We need
There
the
you go.
audio tape.
Pull it
the
from the
audio tape
podcast.
must be found, because I'm going to tell you something right now.
There's no way this conversation happened just like randomly. Like,
I
didn't
feel
just,
like DeMarco blamed me, and I feel like I'm off the hook.
No, you're always on the hook because it is your fault.
I want to say that in this particular instance, I feel innocent, but I feel like the court of public opinion is accusing me with guilt.
It's really
Of
hard.
course.
It's really hard to profess your innocence, though, Cappy, when you also claim that you don't remember any of it.
That is correct, Marcus. I have no recollection.
Right. Thank you, Marcus.
Right. So because I have no recollection, I'm going to hold on to my position, Marcus, which is that I had nothing to do with this. And until proven otherwise, I'm going to maintain that
I'm
position.
going to find the goddamn podcast.
Because I'll tell you something right now.
DeAndre's looking for it.
After what happened between DeMarco and Beto, I want no part of that. I want to stay on DeMarco's
I would
good
say
side.
Beto was disrespectful, though. I was not.
Okay.
I wasn't. You pinned DeMarco against me, not me. I didn't pin DeMarco. I wasn't the one that said whatever Beto said to trigger him. You asked me versus him, resume broadcasting, and I said I've got him.
Why would
the
I even
words
ask
were
such
there?
a
I
thing?
didn't have to. I don't have to repeat them. We
Why would I ask such a thing? Why would I say such a thing?
Because you're a jackass. That's
No,
why.
I disagree. I think it goes back to what you said earlier, and I quote, "I'm a cocky son of a bitch." That's what you said.
Right, but I'm
Right.
a cocky son of a bitch based on you asking me a question, and I will answer you honestly.
So you think I said to you, "Hey, George, if we put your broadcast career against DeMarco's broadcast career, who do you think wins?" You think I asked it like that?
This is exact. I mean, didn't you hear yourself when I said DeMarco's got me on football? Then you guys started peppering me with questions about broadcasting.
No, I don't remember that.
All right. Well, DeAndre,
I have a
looking
bad
for the tape.
memory, apparently, Marcus, and I also, my ears don't work.
Also, DeAndre is very, very close. We almost have it.
We almost have it. In the meantime, George, I want to ask you, because Brian Windhorst was talking about the Lakers and Luka, and basically saying that the pressure is on the Lakers to create a situation where Luka will want to sign an extension. I mean, is there some truth to that? I mean, do the Lakers have a burden of proof right now?
A ton of, yeah, absolutely. Like, he's got all the leverage. Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Like, if you're them, you better show him that this will work to some capacity, because he's got the ability to just walk. And I mean, you didn't give up much for him, let's be honest. I mean, yeah, you give up Anthony Davis, but you probably would have lost Anthony Davis in 2026 anyway, or somewhere close to it. So,
Well, this is why what I've been saying is that this whole trade for this kid, Marcus Williams, like, to me, they did not want him. They probably thought they gave up too much to get him.
You mean Mark Williams?
Yeah, him. Is that his name? Mark Williams? I mean, nobody knew who he was. I mean, other than you. I mean, guys like me, we didn't know
called
who he
him
was.
Marcus, though.
No, Marcus.
I mean, I don't know. Is
Mark
his
Williams?
middle initial S? I'm trying to look and find that
Well,
out.
I mean, by the way, Marcus, I spelled it
not.
differently than your Marcus, by the way. You have that strange spelling.
I do have a
you know?
different spelling, yes.
Right. His is Marckus. But you've got that AS at the end.
I
you know?
do. That's correct.
So the thing is that I still maintain that the Lakers did not want this kid. However, what they did want to do was they wanted to make Luka happy. They wanted to show him from the very beginning, hey, we're going to do what makes you better. And if you think that this kid is the kid that you want, we obviously have a hole. We need a big man. But if he's the kind of guy you want to play with, we'll go make a trade for him. So then they go make a trade. Then they bring him in, and they're like, we don't want this kid. We want that pick back. You know what? We kind of like Dalton Connect. Screw it. He fails the physical. And then they can go and look at Luka and go, hey, you see, we'll do anything you want. It's just this one didn't work out. And Luka goes, okay, I understand. Does anybody buy my theory?
No.
Speaking of theories, I guess DeAndre's found the audio.
Okay, let's take a listen. Did you have to threaten to kick Beto's ass at any point during the show?
Never.
Like
Beto's
DeMarco
very
does?
reverential towards me, to Greg's point.
Yes, he is.
Very,
I know.
very.
I know. And yet here sits DeMarco Farr, a Super Bowl champion, a national champion, a man 6'4", 275 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal.
Yeah.
And
What are you doing?
there's a guy in Beto Duran who's like, bring it.
Yeah. I just think in this arena, as accomplished as DeMarco is in his, I would say I'm the more accomplished one.
Oh, timeout.
Yeah.
Timeout. Timeout. What did I do?
I mean, I said it's exactly what I said. We were talking about Beto and DeMarco, and I bet you if you go further, you're asking me about the difference.
No, but you immediately offered that in this arena, you are more accomplished.
But again,
That's your
what
opinion.
was the context to what we were leading up to that part of the conversation?
That Beto and Bergie were going to brawl?
No, it was me and you, Cappy.
Okay, well, I remember that part.
Right.
I'm
I'm saying
Beto
is
helped me.
you literally played 5 seconds, 10 seconds before I said what I said. That's not the full context of whatever the conversation was.
Should we hear the rest of it?
I mean, you probably have to go back several minutes if I recall. I would imagine. Because that thing of Beto and DeMarco didn't come up out of nowhere. Like we didn't just start there where that particular audio started.
It started off because, Cappy said, like, I missed you, George. And, we were talking about how Beto, kind of caters towards Sedano when he does a show with us and all that stuff. And that's how it leaded into that conversation with DeMarco and Beto.
Right. So it started with Cappy bringing up Beto.
No, it started with Cappy expressing to you how much he missed you.
Okay. And
See,
then you
where's your
brought
heart,
up Beto.
man?
Right. And then you brought up Beto.
So George, where would you put your resume vis-a-vis Cappy?
More accomplished, but I also have to have some reverence towards Cappy because I was Cappy's intern at one point.
Aha.
Yeah, the ESPN thing trumps everything I've done. Like all the stuff that I've done, CBS sidelines, big deal. Westwood won for 20 years on the sidelines of NFL games, big deal. I admit, the ESPN stuff trumps me. I got it. I got that.
But you know what? Now I'm going to coach Bergman in this boxing match to kick your ass.
Yeah, there you go, Sedano. I got you and DeMarco on my side.
I'm going to be his
Wait,
Mickey.
why is DeMarco on your side?
Because you took Kirk.
How did I take Kirk?
That was why this all happened. They said Kirk. You're doing it again, Cappy.
I don't remember.
You do this all the time.
I don't remember.
The only reason I talked to DeMarco about being my corner because you took Kirk.
For the love of God.
Cappy,
Like,
do you have like a chip
You know
implanted
what?
in your brain so you just
DeMarco
just
is right.
delete?
Everything is your fault.
Oh, my God. In this case, here's what I think happened. I think that George went from, I'm giving him respect in football, but in broadcasting, he's in my world. And I think that was a very natural transition that George made. And I think I'm catching strays from DeMarco. And as I'm saying on the air right now, I want no part of DeMarco. DeMarco and I have a love affair. I want to keep it going as a love affair.
Neither do I. This had nothing to do with DeMarco until you brought up us comparing resumes.
No, you brought that up.
Okay. Whatever. I'm not even going to argue with you anymore. All right, Cappy, you're right. It's over. Fine.
Thank you. Gosh, it's about time. God, it's great.
I think the audience is already tired.
I was like,
although I do see your Stable Wars is out there, all
well,
over
that's
the community
because
today.
freaking Crypto Ray, dude. Crypto Ray is a dangerous man.
You're a sports entrepreneur.
Once he learned, I think I said media entrepreneur.
Oh, maybe it was media.
Once Crypto Ray learned just a few editing skills, that brother has become dangerous.
Hold on. This is the greatest line of the thing he cut from your Stable Wars show. Ready? This is some guy, I don't know who he is, that you were sucking up to.
You know, if Scotty can keep his mouth shut, he'd get so much more out of life.
And it's so true. That literally should be the mantra for everyone here.
Well, it's true. Like my mother used to tell me.
Keep his mouth shut, he'd get so much more out of life.
Right. My mother used to tell me all the time, your big mouth's going to get you in trouble, and it has for the better part of nearly
And then
30
it gets
years.
the rest of us in trouble somehow.
Well, fellas, I feel like I'm not needed here, so I appreciate this time we spent together. Have a good show.
Hey, thanks, Marcus.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. We'll talk to you soon.
See you.